Heat is required to forge anything. Every great accomplishment is the story of a flaming heart. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is modern escapism. Hello and welcome to the final episode of our summer-themed month. My name is Oodles, the Hot for Teacher host of the show. Joining me today, burning down the house, it's Stig.
Feeling hot, hot, hot.
She's got canned heat in her heels tonight, baby. It's Candy.
Hello.
Come on, baby, light my fire. It's Biggie.
Squatcho.
And finally, looking for some hot stuff, baby, this evening, it's Gadget.
It's hot. Real hot. Hotter than a damn snake's ass in heat.
Real hot. Before we get into the show, please consider becoming one of our sexy and incredibly cool patrons to help us divide and conquer the podcasting world. Details are in our show notes, but mainly check out our website, modernescapism.co.uk, for more exquisite content and links to everything we do. Now it's time for what I assume is a jam-packed, hot and fiery Biggie's Breaking News.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's Breaking News.
Podcasters, assemble. That's right, I've got news for you. And there's been a lot of news this week. We'll start with San Diego's Comic-Con. Took place over the weekend. And there was just maybe one or two announcements. So basically, the MCU Phase 5 and 6 was announced. Phase 4 through to 6 is now known as the Multiverse Saga. So we have the Black Panther Wakanda Forever will round off Phase 4. There's a trailer released out today, I think.
Yes, that's great.
Yeah,
we got
Really
to see Lamora.
Yep, and I'm pretty sure that's a lady in the Black Panther suit at the end.
Yep, it is. It's definitely going to be, and it looks emotional. I think they're respecting Chadwick Boseman's untimely passing, and I think it's going to be a tough watch in a good way, if you get me.
Mm.
I'm looking forward to it.
Angela Bassett looks like she's just going to absolutely own that film from that trailer.
As she does in most things she's in.
Yeah,
she does.
Queen.
I mean, the supporting cast of Black Panther were great anyway, so I think
it's just a fantastic film all around, really, and an important one.
Well, then moving on, we have Phase 5. Listing a few of the things that were announced, if not all, was Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. Not sure about that one myself.
We knew about that years ago, though.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the
I ain't new.
Pretty much the first four in this list of films were already announced, but they didn't say when. All of them were coming, but apart from 3 of them.
We then have the Marvels. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Bring it on.
Blade.
Yes.
With, what's his name? Mahershala
Ali.
Mahershala Ali. And hopefully we're going to get Anthony Starr as Dracula. That's my dream. That's my dream. That is my dream. Need it.
Interestingly, Captain America: The New World Order. So are we assuming it's Winter Soldier picking that one up, or is it going to be the Falcon?
Going to be Falcon.
He's not called the Falcon anymore.
He's
Captain America. Yeah, Sam Wilson
He's
is
not
Captain
the Falcon
America.
anymore.
I haven't seen the TV show, so.
Well, you've been missing out. Well, not much on that one, to be fair.
No, but Sam Wilson is Captain America. This is clearly going to be a setup for the Thunderbolts.
Yep. Finally.
Which rounds off Phase 5. So
big into
TV.
Thunderbolts.
Secret Invasion. Looking forward to that.
Yes.
Echo.
Yep. Looking
Follow
forward to
from
that.
Hawkeye.
Yep.
You guys need to watch Hawkeye. Watch Hawkeye. It's really good. Listen to us when we say watch Hawkeye.
Mate, it's my favourite of the Marvel shows. It's sensational.
Yeah, I need to catch
It's
up
really
with that.
good.
Loki Season 2.
Looking forward to that.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Ironheart. I don't know much about this character. Don't know much
Iron Heart,
about any
you
of
do. Iron Heart, Iron Man,
I know.
little protege.
She's a genius and kind of takes on the mantle of Iron Man. I believe her character's going to be in debut in Wakanda Forever.
Mm.
So we'll get to see her, or whether it's just a small role or not. But we'll get to meet her in Wakanda Forever, and then she's going to have her own TV show.
And next up, we've got Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Not sure about this one because I thought she was fine in Loki.
It's a
The
prequel.
TV series. Not so sure.
Well, I'm
Is it
on
for
for
it?
it.
WandaVision, not Loki.
Yeah, WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Sorry,
Oh, I
WandaVision.
thought you were a comic
Yeah, I
book
just-
fan. Jesus.
Agatha Harkness, come on, everyone knows.
I haven't read every single comic in Marvel.
Well,
Trying.
you should do. No, but yeah, I really enjoyed her in WandaVision, but I wasn't really that bothered about seeing a prequel about her and how she got her powers.
No. No, me neither.
This
but
next
okay.
one, though, this is the big one.
Yeah, the next one they're definitely up for is Daredevil, Born Again.
Come on,
Bring it on.
come on. Let's go. Let's get some Wilson Fisk. Ooh.
Have you seen the trailer for the new trailer for She-Hulk?
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Did you watch right to the end?
With his new costume.
Mate,
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
It's
this She-Hulk's making me quite thirsty. I don't know what it is. Something
it-
about a big, strong woman.
I was going to say, is it the Lady D effect again?
That scene in the first trailer where she's like having sex, well, alluding to that, I was like, oh, I'm all for that.
Well, where she picks up the big muscle-bound guy and walks him to the bedroom.
Yeah.
You
Now
just
we're
want to
talking.
throw him over her shoulder.
I want to be smashed. I'll admit it. Look,
Should destroy your
I'm
pelvis, man.
beautiful.
But they got her
Good.
breaking the fourth wall as well, which is great. And like
Mhm,
the funniest thing online is you see everyone's like, "Oh, she's just copying Deadpool now." No,
No, she did it first.
It's the other way around.
She did it first. She was the first.
We'll get onto them when it comes to Kill It With Fire.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Marvel fans, yeah?
No, just
Internet.
Phase 6 will start with Fantastic Four in November 24. Oodles finally gets his wish.
Yes! Finally!
Yeah,
Oh,
announcing-
I've been waiting for so long.
Have they announced the actual lineup for Fantastic Four? So,
No,
nope.
not officially.
That'll be next year.
okay.
Well, there's a Disney showcase coming up next month.
Oh, maybe
I think it'll be next month.
I was expecting a lot of this to come out then, so I have no idea what they're going to put out there regarding Marvel. So maybe they've held some stuff back for that.
Oh God, the one person I'm scared of is Johnny Storm because I don't think they've ever got him right as a character. They've always made him this like cocky, brash, I don't know, like wisecracker, but he's not that guy in the books. You know what I mean? He's quite
The
level-headed.
rapport between him and the Thing is more interesting.
Ben,
than
yeah.
just him on
That's
his
the
own.
more. Yeah, that's the everyone. You can get a good Reed Richards, or have. You can get a good Sue Storm, Ben Grimm's CGI.
I was going to say, do you think we have the Reed Richards still, or do you
Yeah.
think it's?
No, genuinely we do. I genuinely do, and I think as Sue Storm could be Emily Blunt, and it'd work perfectly. But it's Ben Grimm's going to be a voice of somebody, and yeah, it's Johnny Storm. That's the linchpin that's going to make or break, in my opinion.
Doom, obviously, Mr. Doom.
Doctor Doom.
I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know who Doctor Doom's going to be.
It doesn't have to be
Tough
Doctor
one,
Doom
isn't
in
it?
this film. It doesn't have to be Doctor Doom. Remember Fantastic Four?
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. But
Basically, their main
he's
baddie
so
is
connected.
Galactus.
Yeah, he's so connected. Now.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Oh, God.
It'll be-
Doctor Doom's a tough one.
Maybe
Do you
it'll
not
be Fantastic
twist?
Four versus Morbius.
Do not waste Doctor Doom in one film.
They won't do. Doctor
Please.
Doom's got to be an ongoing
Please.
presence forever now.
Yeah, they're not going to just get rid of him. Surely not.
Remember, Doctor Doom switches allegiances at his own whim. Sometimes he's on the side of Magneto, sometimes he's with the X-Men, sometimes he's with Spider-Man. It's
Just like this
Doctor
podcast.
Doom. Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on. Also announced in Phase 6 was Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. out.
Dynasty.
May
You're not in
25.
America. Dynasty.
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 I've heard loads of English people saying dynasty. It's dynasty.
Oh man, I was listening to a podcast, and every time they said Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness,
The multiverse.
the part of me died a little bit.
Dynasty. But I'll let it off. I'll let you off.
Will you?
No.
Avengers Secret Wars,
Oh, this
November
is gonna be the big one.
2025. Yep.
That's the big one. Isn't it? That's the big one.
So far, no other
Huge.
projects for Phase 6 have been announced, but like
It's enough.
he says, maybe it will be in the Disney
No.
news.
No, I don't think they want to get too far ahead of themselves because
They'll
they
change
change things around, don't they? And also, depending on what they want to do with Spider-Man and what they do with Sony and stuff like that. We'll probably get another Spider-Man film lobbed in there between both Avengers films, I reckon.
I agree. I think they will.
I think that post-credit scene won't happen then, and it'll happen in Secret Wars because that's what happens in the books, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
Speaking of which, there's also a load of other news and information over the weekend, including What If Season 2,
Yeah.
into it.
I Am Groot shorts.
Mate, I watched the
first
trailer
look-
for that.
Oh.
I loved it.
Are they shorts, are they? Or are they full-length ones?
The shorts, like 8
Oh,
minutes
okay.
long.
Yeah, they're just on Disney Plus.
I love that little trailer. My kids were giggling their little heads off. I'm like, oh, it's cute. Vin Diesel's best role.
And first look at the animated show X-Men Class of 97. I assume it's going to go full metal with that intro.
Have you seen the pictures? It's just carrying on from the 90s show.
Yeah, it looks very similar,
It's
doesn't it?
literally just taking off from where it ended in 97.
Yeah.
And
I
Spider-Man
love that show.
freshman year.
Not so bothered
Yeah.
about that.
I'm cool with it. They've had so many Spider-Man TV shows, though, cartoons. It's literally there's
Yeah.
fucking hundreds.
Just give us the 90s one back.
Hundreds. Yeah, I did like that one, but Ultimate Spider-Man was the best cartoon show for me. But not many people watched that because they were too old for it. I weren't.
Spider-Man
Love
and his
Ultimate
amazing
Spider-Man.
friends. Iceman, Firestar. Shit,
No, I'm not into that. That was shit.
it was. Oh, well, I loved it as a kid.
yeah.
Some other quick stuff that was dropped. Just a few things, maybe rumours, who knows. Giancarlo Esposito is rumoured to be in the running for the Professor X role in
Bang
the
into it.
upcoming X-Men reboot. I'm sure
Bang into
so many
it.
people are fans going to kick off about that.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh, who
mind
cares?
it.
I think he'd be
Quote-unquote
awesome.
fans.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
He'd be perfect. I can't think of anyone better, really.
I can, but he's fine. He'll
Mm.
be great. He'll be great.
Something that we've all appreciated is the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves trailer.
I'm dead into
Appreciate, mate. I'm fucking suing him. Appreciate copying bastards.
this. As a film, it looks great. It looks like it's going to be schlocky fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about the soundtrack on the trailer, though. What was it? Was it Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, it was Led Zeppelin and I think AC/DC as well, wasn't it?
ACDC,
I thought that was a bit of an interesting choice.
It's
Well,
just
the-
We'll
wasn't it?
see.
I think that people just said when this was announced, like, I saw a lot of people saying go for a Guardians of the Galaxy style
yeah.
film, and that's clearly
That's what it
they've
is.
done. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks fine. It's just plagiarism, isn't it?
Not enough Goliath.
Too much bard.
Never too much bad.
I'm telling you now, that film ends with people playing at a table.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Like a fourth wall breaking. Oh, game over.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
Thank you. I love the next bit. The animated cast of Star Trek Lower Decks will play live action versions of their characters in Star Trek Stranger New Worlds Season 2 for a crossover episode.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
news, that. That's
So
that's
into
fun.
this. No idea how they're going to do it.
I really want to see
because
Jack Quaid with
of the-
purple hair.
Yeah, because of the time
And there is a time discrepancy, isn't there?
time discrepancy. Yes, there's going to be some timey-wimey things going on there, but
Cool
it
with that.
also apparently is going to have Strange New World cast are going to end up being animated. So it's going to be.
Yep.
This is the rumors that it's going to have like part of it's going to be live action, part of it's going to be animated. So that'll
Cool.
be that's going to be really good fun.
2 very good Star Trek shows. So if you've not watched them, watch them.
Next up, we've got Black Adam and Shazam trailers.
Boring.
About Black Adam.
Yeah, Shazam looks great.
Yeah, the
I like
Shazam one looks good. Black Adam looks
Yeah.
fucking dull.
Ooh, DC are clutching at straws.
That's your first
There's a
Shazam
first
film was
look.
great.
Sorry.
I liked
I'm
Shazam film first one, but I didn't love it. This one just looks like it's trying too hard for my liking. I'm not a big Zachary Levi fan. Never have been. I like how his
On that
arc
bombshell.
ended in Thor Ragnarok. He just got killed.
There's a first look at the National Trevor. Let's start again. First look at
National Trevor.
National Trevor.
National Trevor.
We love our
mailman
Trevors in
that
the
everyone
UK.
loves.
Postman. First look at National Treasure TV show.
Was it a good film, that? I've
Like-
seen the first two. I can't remember if I liked them.
I like National Treasure. I'm not sure about the second one. I can't remember much about that. But the first one, I actually watched this a few weeks ago with the kids.
Didn't one of them have the plot for a Dan Brown novel? One of the Lambden, or whatever his name is, Robert Langdon. Is that his name in
Yes.
Dan Brown books? One of them's got the same plot as one of those novels, and obviously Dan Brown's came out second. So he's just copied National Treasure.
I'm not sure, but this one's going to have... It's not Nicolas Cage, but it's going to have Justin Bartha back as Riley, so there is a connection to the
I can't even remember
to the films,
name.
at least.
I might rewatch them. I remember not liking them as much as like The Mummy and stuff like that. I never thought.
Oh,
they were
no,
that
it's
caliber.
not as good as The Mummy, but
No,
I still kind of like the first one. It's schlocky, but fun.
I might try it again.
Something I'm looking forward to, the new trailer for Lord of the Rings of Power.
Oh, mate, the concept that they've got, the themes that they've got on this is fucking sensational.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And the
about
fact that already they've shown Myron, for non-nerds, that Sauron is in his elf form, fucking bang into this. This is fucking fantastic shit. The Deceiver, deceiving the elves and man, it's the best time period. Oh,
Again, it's
fucking
a
love
massive
this.
IP. They've got to be very careful with this, otherwise, if it's not going to hurt the original movies. But it's just such a big thing. They need to get this right. They really do,
This is
in my opinion.
it's just so fucking cool. Like, this is the age where the dwarfs started coming from underground and stuff like that. This is like a proper tumultuous. It's the second age, isn't it? This one, and it's I fucking adore this. It's like from Children of Huron and Silmarillion. This is really good fucking rich Tolkien shit. The adult stuff,
It
not the
could be.
kid stuff.
Could be bigger and better than Game of Thrones. Having that mass appeal.
And Gladwell's in it, isn't she?
She is.
She's in the trailer. So cool.
warrior.
Fuck off.
The next one I did not see coming was the original Gremlins star. Zach Gallagher will return for Secrets of the Mogwai.
Mate, I've said it before on the show. Gremlins 1's a masterpiece. Gremlins 2's just a laugh. But
Yeah.
it's one of those IPs that just nothing's ever happened since then. And I don't understand because it's ripe.
It's a
Fucking bang up
this
for
is a TV show as well, so
Yeah.
give it the Cobra Kai treatment. That's what I say.
Everything should get the Cobra Kai treatment.
Yeah, exactly. Anything from the 80s that you revive,
Yeah.
give it the Cobra Kai treatment.
So good.
Something that should stay dead, though, is Tales of the Walking Dead trailer.
Yeah.
Is
I
this
think
I like
they're
The
bringing
Walking
a lot
Dead.
more of this.
Back.
Yeah. So Rick Grimes is back.
Why?
I like Walking Dead. I'm up to date with Walking Dead
He
as
never
well.
died. Just
Yeah, they're
flew off in
bringing
a helicopter.
everyone said, "How's he back? He died." He didn't die at all. He just went away.
So how many
I
things
like The
now are
Walking
coming
Dead.
out for Walking Dead? Because was there a couple of films coming out with Grimes?
There's a spin-off with Norman Reedus in it.
I thought that got
There was-
cancelled. It was
there
Darren
there's
and Carol
also-
got cancelled.
There
Yes,
was
that got
Fear
cancelled.
the Walking Dead. That was a thing.
I think that
It's
still is a
prequel,
thing.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's not good though. Fear the Walking Dead. No, it's
Um,
interquel. It's going on at the same time.
I think this TV show, Tales of the Walking Dead, is superseding the Rick Grimes films.
Right.
I like Walking Dead show. It's not fucking sensational or anything like that. It's dumb and it's drawn out. There should be.
Too dumb. That's the problem. Every season just ended up being the same thing, but just in a
Yeah.
different location.
Yeah, it did. Like, we're comfortable. Oh no, the walls have come down.
Move on to the next place. Oh no, the same thing's happened again.
We've lost a main character. What are we going to do? We'll bring on a new main character.
Oh no, it turns out the humans are the monsters after all. Oh no.
After all. They discovered that in first series.
It's nice community that we've found. Oh no, it turns out that the leader is an absolute bastard.
They seem really trustworthy.
Mate, I don't know if you ever kept up with Walking Dead, but do you know how Negan was the big bad?
Doesn't he become a big good?
He's now like the main character. He's a goodie. He's Rick. And people still say to him, "Remember when you bossed Carl's head in with a fucking baseball bat?" Even there's that. I'm a goodie now. Stop mentioning it. Oh, I'm sorry. Not Carl. Glenn. Fucking hell, I was getting that mixed up. But yeah, he's always saying like, "I'm a goodie now. I'm a goodie now." You still boshed his head in. Do you know what I mean? Still did it.
Still, the best thing that came out of The Walking Dead were the Carl memes. They were fantastic.
Coral. Sorry, spoiler alert. He's been dead years.
And finally, Keanu Reeves' Berserker anime confirmed for 2 seasons on Netflix.
Berserker, or do you mean Berserk?
Berserker. It's not Berserker.
Oh, I know. I was just about to say they've just done a Berserk. So, Berserker. Oh, interesting. Keanu Reeves. Great actor.
Next up, finally, could this be the end to wrestling? Vince McMahon has finally retired from WWE at the age of 77.
Retired, not kicked out.
Stepping down as CEO and head of creative.
Stepping down.
It's not the end of wrestling. Don't be silly.
He's probably not had much to do with it for years now. He's just a character for a long time, hasn't he?
No.
He's
I don't literally had an iron grip on it. Like
maybe it'll be good now.
Everything goes through Vince McMahon.
He's still the major stakeholder, isn't he?
Still a major stakeholder, but he's got
no creative
control, no like controlling kind of.
I bet he got a lovely golden handshake as well, didn't he?
Oh, he got the
handjob.
Fucking golden handjob.
I'm not going to go into what he did because it's
don't
an abuse of horrible of power and he's just a horrible bastard. So regardless of that, he's pretty much responsible for the way wrestling turned out over the last 30 to 40 years, directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
So the stuff that I like now is down to him. But at the end of the day, fuck him. He's a piece of shit. And all those bootlickers in the SmackDown crowd chanting "Thank you, Vince." Had Stephanie McMahon come out on SmackDown like, "Let's lead you all. I want to lead you all in a "Thank you, Vince" cheer," and they're all there shouting "Thank you, Vince." I was like, "Fuck off!" Like,
all the like wrestlers and stuff were on Instagram saying, "Thanks for putting me where I am today," and it's like, you're a bastard. You know what I mean? You got yourself to where you are today. Your talent got you there.
This is the problem with people like him being allowed to retire rather than being sacked, because they can spin the narrative in a happy way.
Of course they can. But at the end of the day, his abuse of power and his money. We don't go into politics, but let's just say that he supports the side that none of us agree with.
The Empire.
He got into bed with the Saudis, and he's held back numerous talented people because he's scared of making the next Rock, Austin, or Cena, someone who transcended the actual sport and left the company and got bigger than them. And he's scared of doing that again, and he's just held people down because of it. So, yes, he revolutionized wrestling, and he created something that I have loved and still enjoy. But good riddance.
Yeah, fuck him. Bye.
We'll move on to some gaming news. Nintendo has updated the timeline of the closure of the 3DS and Wii U eShops. They tweeted, as of the 29th of August this year, it will no longer be possible to add funds, and as of the 27th of March 2023, purchases will no longer be available.
Yeah. Get that custom firmware installed because the homebrew channel has everything on it. Fuck them. If they're closing it, it's time to fucking sail the high seas. You can download all the games for free. It takes 10 minutes to set up.
Apparently.
Only if you own
all the originals.
Only if you own them, yeah.
Only if you own them.
There's a few items that Biggie's snuck in here.
A couple of things that made me chuckle. Anthem BioWare's doomed loot shooter was found to be a penny at GameStop.
Fucking hell.
Mate, I play
Can you
that game
imagine that?
every day religiously. You need to watch your mouth. What game are you on about?
Anthem.
Oh, I can't remember it.
That's the problem.
The
with
fuck's Anthem? What is Anthem? That's the Iron Man one, isn't it? Where
it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Destiny style.
that was good for about 5 minutes.
It was a pretty game, is what I can say for it. I got it with my graphics card, and it's a very pretty game, but it was.
It had that awesome trailer. Was like, "Watch your six! Oh my god, this is a natural conversation that people have while playing online."
Yeah,
Had that trailer, didn't it? I love that shit, man.
Thanks for saving me.
Thanks, man. I'll hit you up in the Discord. Fucking shy. No one talks like that. So I was like, when you launch a game, you go, all right, yeah, yeah, and we're gonna go, yeah, kill him. He's down there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I got a good loot. That's how it goes.
Go on, Biggie.
Next bit made me chuckle. A new report asked why the wallpaper engine is such a big hit in China, and it turns out
Fucking drop
it's
it, man.
porn.
Of course it is. That feeds the world.
I'll tell you why, because when you load this thing up, there's an option that says, do you want anime? And it's probably because there must be, it says it here, like 7.5% of the content is hentai, I guess.
It's just because in
yes,
China it's banned.
Have that unticked.
Porn's banned, isn't it?
I do genuinely have that unticked.
I don't
Because the
fucking
anime
believe
stuff in there
you.
is shite. It's true. That did make me chuckle.
You're right. You're right. There was some
China.
Hatsune Miika, fucking straight up hentai tentacle stuff. I can tell. Look at you. You're obsessed.
It's interesting that China has access to that because apparently a lot of their internet is monitored.
Yeah, they're not allowed porn, are they?
blocked.
They're not allowed.
No.
It's basically that their internet at home is like being at work. It's terrible. There's firewalls everywhere.
Yep.
Fucking shite.
And also, following that, please press F for it. Respect, as Guerrilla Games has announced the online servers, the Killzone, Shadowfall, standalone co-op mode, Intercept, the PS Vita, Mercenary, and the PS VR title Rigs is all being closed down as of 12th of August. What I thought was really interesting about this, though, was...
Nothing's really interesting about this.
No, let me finish. Because PlayStation Plus, this is the first time ever that Killzone
Anyone's
has been
played
available.
Killzone's been in the news.
But because PlayStation Plus has just moved
Shadow
over
Falls
into
on
this
it, isn't it?
extra premium, and Shadowfall, first time it's ever appeared, and it's going to be removed. It's such a weird play by
Yeah, and
Sony.
it's fucking shit.
I just don't understand. But why are they taking away something that they own off that they've just
So they
put on
don't
the service
have to
that people have
pay
Because
Just
they're embarrassed.
upgraded to?
They're embarrassed by it because it's shit.
Shut up.
It costs money to keep the servers up, and if they're getting like less than 10 players a month or some shit like that, why would they?
We
keep
are
them
10
on?
players. The 10 of us are playing it.
There's literally less than a dozen of you.
No, it's me and my 9 other accounts
Put
that I've
it
got
down
running.
and just play fucking Call of Duty like the normal people that play those kind of games do. For fuck's sake, man. Killzone. It's never been good.
Shut up. Now, moving on. This next bit really did piss me off because I was pissed off the first time this happened, and now it's happened again. So, Persona 5 was released, awesome game. Then they suddenly come out, I can't remember, it was like either like a year later, whatever it was. They then said, Persona
Royal.
5 Royale version, which has just got some added content, but you had to pay
Royal.
full price
cheese.
again for that.
Yep.
And they've now announced that Persona 5 Royal on PS5 will now
There you go.
not be a free upgrade. You have to buy the game again for literally, what is it? Just an upgrade with the graphics, etc., and frame rate, the graphical
I'm
boost.
kind of.
That's
I think it's
bullshit.
absolutely insane that you want to play that game so close to when it released. Again, it is like a 200-hour RPG. Even that's too much for me.
Yeah, I'm still
And
just.
there's no way.
This is
I'll
my
never want to
dipping
play
in.
Persona 5 for the next 15 years. I played it twice. I played the original on Royal. It's too much. It's too big a game. 4's way better. It's a lot smaller.
It's insulting
Yeah.
to everyone that's bought it, if not the first time, the
They
second
don't give
time.
a fuck.
Yeah, I think
I
given
know,
that it's
but
just a
I don't
frame
like
rate,
this.
given that it's a frame rate bump, that's about it. There's nothing extra
Yeah.
new about it.
It's
Like, the
wrong.
graphics aren't being
Very
redone.
wrong.
because they're stylized to hell anyway. You wouldn't need to upgrade the graphics.
It's cell shaded, isn't it? So yeah, who gives a fuck?
Plus the PS4 version, if you're playing it on a PS5, runs at 60 anyway.
It does, yeah. And you can get Royal from like CEX for like 15 quid. Just get that. If you've not played it, I mean, it is longer than you think. Trust me.
Still excellent.
There's still this issue, isn't there, about paying for upgrades to PS5 versions? Some companies will give it free, others won't. I just think there needs to be a bit more consistency.
Me and Gadget mentioned it last year when our Lord and Saviour Hideo Kojima relaunched the updated version of Death Stranding, and Candy as well, and it cost us £5.
£5, mint. Not arguing with that at all.
That's how you do it. That's how you still get a little bit of profit.
Well, you justify the work that's done to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What a man.
That's
why he's the Lord and Saviour. That's why he's the boy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
£5.
I don't think this was Candy that this happened to, but in Tiny Tina's Wonderland, a player got lucky and found a rather rare item with a 1 in 85 billion drop rate. I mean, somebody did the maths.
Oh, good for them.
Good for you. Good for you.
If you're interested, the item in question was the Warlock's Amalgam of Glorious Purpose, and then it was a class mod. Not only is the item a rare legendary, but it's ascended too, and it possesses the perfect stats. And if you're into that
also an NFT
grind, but yeah, it's a proper loot grind that, and to get that drop, that's pretty impressive.
I don't know. I did grind for the Zodiac Spear in Final Fantasy 12. Gadget knows.
Oh, why? Why would you do that?
Because I'm a fucking idiot.
You're a fucking idiot.
Grinding sucks.
We're nearing the end now, so Michael Mann confirms his Heat sequel is already underway and will be, I don't know what this means, a very large movie.
It's just full of like plus-sized actors. That's what it is. It's just big guys. Just big guys having a good big time.
I was going to say, is it going to be like Kevin James headlining it or something like that?
It's just big guys having a fun, body positive time. Like, yeah, we do like a big sloppy joes. Let's fucking go. Heat, baby.
Dig up Marlon Brando's corpse.
Yeah. A mountain.
Yeah, weird choice of words. Based on a book or a new novel. So yeah, looking forward to that.
I really like the first one. I think it's fantastic.
It was, what was it to do with the famous story about the training that the actors went through, and apparently Val Kilmer can reload a magazine faster than most of the military.
Yeah,
that shootout scene is like
sensational.
It's perfect. It's like they learned how to do it and how to do proper tactical like changes and maneuvers and stuff so it looked as realistic as possible. Like, just it's such a great movie.
If it's done with the same love and reverence,
as well. Like,
if it's done,
it's a bit like the Godfather 2 style. Some in the past.
Yeah, some in the past. If it's done with the reverence that I've still not seen it, but Top Gun Maverick's done. So bring it on. You know what I mean? Because that's got a lot of respect, didn't it? They put a lot of respect into making Top Gun Maverick. So Heat is a nice beloved film. So I hope they do it.
Michael Mann needs to do more films. People need to give him
more money. I love Michael
Mann.
Love him.
Moving on, we've got Netflix has apparently lost 1 million subscribers between April and June after losing 200,000 subscribers between January and March. They're dropping fast.
It's dying.
That's what you get for raising their prices every 5 minutes.
Or having
and
a
you can't
service that
share
doesn't
accounts
fucking
now.
Work.
I mean,
can't share accounts now.
It's a lot of people, but they still have 214 million subscribers. So it's not a massive percentage at the end of the day.
And I think something like the Stranger Things revenue has just like made them profit.
It's probably one that they factor in that, or every year we're going to either gain or lose this X amount of subscribers.
I guess it's whether you see the trend continuing or not.
Yeah.
And they must have. They must have accounted.
If they're losing 1 million a quarter, that's going to be worse for them, consistently.
But that's what I mean. They must have accounted for numbers dropping after lockdowns and stuff. Like, there's not anyone in that company that thinks, "Oh, I'm surprised this has happened." People aren't at home anymore.
So my sister was sharing my account that I was paying for, and I got the dreaded text about 2 weeks ago. I can't access your Netflix anymore.
I don't know.
It's happening. It started. I know they're incrementally changing it, aren't they? So it started. The great Netflix culling of 22.
To combat this, they just announced that for Series 5 of Stranger Things, they're going to be announcing the finale, which will be over a period of 4 episodes, and each episode will be released every 100 years.
It'd keep me subscribing because season 4 was sensational. It's the only thing I'm sticking with Netflix for, The Witcher and that.
So the next bit is a bit difficult to announce because obviously it's all been very positive, but just wanted to say that I actually dropped off reading some Marvel stuff. I was trying to get through the Dark Reign storyline and I was getting really bored with it, so I wanted something completely different. So I started reading Judge Dredd this week, and then sadly it was also announced that Alan Grant had passed away, who wrote some incredible storylines for Dredd as well as others. And sad loss to the comic universe. He was amazing.
What a fucking legend. He's up there with Grant Morrison, Jack Kirby's, Stan Lee's, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
He was, especially when I started reading his books, perfect timing. Little edgelord teenager that I was. Fuck, perfect. Oh, yeah, some fantastic book. Invented the character Zaz, who fucking still runs to this day in Batman. Fucking what a guy. What a guy.
Oh, yeah, fucking Zaz, yeah.
Yeah, what a fucking guy. What a sad loss. Huge body of work. I was looking on Comixology, and I think they're releasing a physical omnibus of some of his best works. I am buying that.
Yeah, well deserved.
Is that the news then, sir? Excellent.
Bumper edition.
Bumper news. So let's fly through this Nexus. I know a bit's happened, but I'm going to start. I played Who Wants to Be a Millionaire this week on PlayStation 5. It's a great game. I'm not very good at it. I've been playing it more and more every day.
Cheated.
Do you know what? It's got a really, really good loop to it where you don't unlock all the things at the same time. So the better you do, the more neurons you collect, and then you can unlock separate categories and stuff like that. And I'm working towards getting my superhero category unlocked so I can start. Like, my record is £32,000 seen on stream. Fucking hell, that game's hilarious. And the characters, Stig,
my God, that posh guy. He was just
Ruben,
like,
he's my main.
Yeah,
he's got most of my neurons.
His voice, he was just like, I am the best and most attractive guest. It's like,
he's the boy. He's a full-on, like, just, Oxbridge knobhead. It's just, I don't know. There's something about how shit it is that I'm loving it, and it's a tenner still. It's a tenner for next, 3 weeks or something like that on PSN. And it's got online modes. I would recommend people get Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's just dumb fun. The questions are actually quite difficult. You've got to back me up, guys that watched me.
You lost the £300 question.
So. Yeah, because you didn't know the difference between discreet and discreet.
Who does? Fucking bastards. But yeah, I got to £32,000 and I'm proud of every pound. But yeah, I also played Stray, but we'll talk about that a little bit later, I think, because I think most of us have played Stray. The main thing I want to talk about is The Grey Man. Hoo-wee! The Grey Man. So, directed by the Russo brothers of the MCU fame and Community. It's Community, isn't it, that it did? Yep. Starring Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans. Two very, very handsome gentlemen. Now, how do has anyone else seen this?
No, not a chance yet.
Do you know what it is?
A film?
Yeah, like a espionage film about an ex agent or something being tracked down by another one, something like that.
I'll not spoil much of it. So Ryan Gosling is the main protagonist, and Chris Evans is the antagonist. Basically, Ryan Gosling was a prisoner. This is all happens in the first 5 minutes. Was a prisoner, and good old Billy Bob Thornton turns up and says, "I'll get you out of prison if you do some jobs for me. These jobs are CIA jobs, but let's pretend they're not. You know, all that black ops stuff. You'll be the Grey Man. You'll be the man that no one knows. Your identity's secure." Then jump cut to 15 years later. He's been doing it for years. He goes to do a hit again, this is all in the first 5 minutes. It's a rapid film. Pace is mental in it. And he goes to do a hit. Turns out he's hitting an ex-grey man, one of his own. And a conspiracy unfolds throughout. This film is basically an MCU film without any superheroes. If you replaced Ryan Gosling with Hawkeye, you wouldn't know the difference. And it's a superhero film without a superhero. Do you know what I mean? One of them, like Hawkeye or Black Widow or something like that. One of those. It's basically the pacing is like, it reminds me of Captain America, Winter Soldier a little bit, and a little bit of Civil War thrown in there. It's just constantly rapid. It's not Jason Bourne like I thought it were going to be. I think Jason Bourne's got a nice load of plot twists and downtime in a lot of Jason Bourne, hasn't it? Because he's amnesiac and he's got to think about stuff. And this has got no downtime. Fuck me. The pace is it's frightening. It's just rapid. And do you know, sometimes people are like, oh, pace is really slow in this. This is the opposite. It's too fast. I was like, what's happening? Like the set pieces, the spellbinding, they're all not much CGI in it at all. And this is probably why it's the most expensive film that Netflix have produced. It's all physical. Your cars are flipping. It's just sensational. It looks like they're shooting real fucking guns, for God's sake. It's incredible. But the only thing that makes it memorable to me is Chris Evans. And I'm saying it right now. Chris Evans is one of the best bad guys I've seen in years. He is fucking fantastic as a bad guy in this. Camp Chris Evans
type, isn't he?
Yeah, he's camp. He's got a little mustache as well. He's mincing around the scenes. He's imposing because he's still fucking incredibly ripped and stuff like that. He's tall as... I didn't realise how tall Chris Evans was compared to Ryan Gosling. I was Ryan Gosling just small.
Oh, Ryan Gosling's little.
Yeah, fucking hell, Chris Evans is a giant in comparison. He's imposing, he's frightening, he's a loose cannon, and it's just this... I don't know. He's the only thing that makes me really like... He's the only thing that makes me like the film. I don't really like the film. But again, like I say, it's essentially a Marvel film without a Marvel character in it, even though a lot of the people in this have probably been in the MCU, especially Chris Evans, obviously. I gave it like a 6 to a 7 out of 10. It's not spectacular. The set pieces, if you're a big set piece person, if you like popcorn films, if you like explosions, if you like seeing a populace getting decimated by a machine gun, the collateral damage in this has to be the highest I've seen since Independence Day. I swear. Everyone gets fucking killed. Just mowed down. Everyone in the scene just fucking destroyed. Chris Evans is the one to watch in this. Ryan Gosling's fine, but Ryan Gosling's one of those actors where he looks at the script and he's got like 10 lines throughout the film. He's always not talking that much in films, and it's that again. He just smoulders around, doesn't he? Looking sexy and blonde. But Chris Evans, fucking hell, I want to see more of that guy doing his own thing. I'd love to see him meet up with Jason Bourne or meet up with what's his name in Mission Impossible, Ethan Hunt. I'd love to see him go toe to toe with those guys because he's up there with some of those good action film baddies. He's Alan Rickman levels. Imagine Alan Rickman, his body and emphasis, but with Chris Evans' body. Sorry, Alan Rickman's mind, but with Chris Evans' body. It's delightful, and that's what you should be going into to see when you watch this film. Again, it's on Netflix, so yeah, it won't break the mold. But Chris Evans, man, get him into more films as a baddie. You wouldn't think it, but when you see it, you're like, oh yes. But yeah, that's mine. We'll talk about the cat game a bit later. So, Stig, what you been doing, boy?
I played the other released game this week.
There was another?
Yep, As Dusk Falls is...
Never heard of it.
Came out on... Yes, you have. It came out on Game Pass this week. It's original. It's like an interactive drama from Interior/Night, and explores an entangled lives of two families across 30 years starting in 1998 with a robbery gone wrong in a small town, Arizona.
Yeah, I think that's
and it's basically, if you kind of like interactive novels, that kind and interactive stories in games, that's what you're going in for. The art style is very painted like, so no one the characters don't move normally. Like
it's like a Scanner Darkly a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't kind of move them around like you do in Life is Strange. You kind of watch. It's like an interactive comic.
Yeah.
So they don't even
speak
when they speak.
I think
When they
stunning.
speak, they don't, like, the mouths don't move, and they kind of jutter from one bit to another. So you don't see them fluidly moving across the screen. They'll be in the middle of the room, and then the next thing they'll move to the door, and you'll just kind of see two motions of them moving to the door. And I'm not sure what
it's like vignetting, isn't
right
it? I think
term
it's
is.
vignette. I think
Yeah.
that's the word. I'm not sure. There is an artistic state. It has got a word.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. I'm on to chapter 3. It is my kind of game for like downtime game, this, where you just kind of sit there and you do make decisions based on how you want the characters to interact. There is so many different branches you can do. You can play it as being kind of cautious or real nice, or you can be an absolute arsehole with the characters. You kind of mix between... I wish I had up the details of the character names right now. But the mix up between the dad from one family and the younger brother from the robbers, and you kind of go between them two, making decisions based on them. It also kind of has flashbacks in the setup for the guy and his family and the troubles he's going through with his wife, and then you have the stuff you flash back to the lad and stuff that's going on with his family and his dad and his mum. So it kind of builds a narrative behind everything that's going off, rather than just being this one night. Kind of find out a bit more about the characters and how they've got in this state. There is apparently a co-op mode to this, and I believe how it works is it's up to like 8 players can play this.
How the fuck do they do that?
So I think you vote on the choice you want. So rather than it being...
Candy's been stung with that on that Quarry game.
Yeah, but I imagine this is probably a lot cheaper. In fact, I just looked it up. It's on Game Pass, and I've already told my little squad that did the Quarry with. I said, here's the next game, so I'm hoping it is multiplayer.
Squad.
Squad.
I imagine it's like the Powerpuff Girls getting together.
That's exactly what it is.
I think that would be a lot of fun. I'd like to play that once I've, like, as a group, once I've done the main story, because I'm not one of these people who go back and replay and do different branches. Like, that's what I chose. I'm happy with that.
Same.
That's,
I usually stick with what I've decided.
There's some horrible choices in this as you go on that it wants you to do, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to fucking do that. And it does that thing that Life is Strange does at the end, and it tells you who did what, like percentage wise, and then you can just see like who are the horrible bastards who did this awful
Walking
thing.
Dead did that as well, didn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm halfway through chapter 3. There's 6 chapters, so I'm looking forward to finishing that off.
Nice.
Main thing is, though, this bad boy arrived.
What's that? What's that little thing? Is that a Vita?
No, this is something much better than the Vita. This is the Steam Deck.
The Steam
Deck.
The Stream Deck.
Steam Deck, you know what it is.
I know. I'm so jealous.
Handheld PC brought to us by Valve. It's a beautiful little machine, and basically I can sit and play all my PC games on the go, wherever I want, in bed, on the sofa, on the shitter, in a plane, on a train.
That's where you do it.
Wherever I want to go, I can download the games and I can now play them handheld.
That's so badass.
One of the best things about this is it being a Linux-based machine. You can put yourself down to the desktop, and there are apps you can download which allow for emulation. You can put emulated games on there as long as you own them. And
the 3DS library.
So it's just like the Vita then?
All this back...
I don't think so. But it's got Steam on it, mate.
Like, I could literally do this by 4 clicks rather than having to hack the thing. I have the ability, it's an app on there. The Heroic app means I can now access my Epic game library and my GOG library.
Yes.
You can set up Xbox xCloud gaming on it, which runs amazing. I've played Guardians of the Galaxy on this thing, and it did not skip a beat. Like, it ran
That's
buttery
sensational.
smooth. Microsoft even have a guide online for how to set this up, so I can see them developing a native app for this very soon, because if they're doing guides,
it seems to be the new official way for that, doesn't it? It seems to be that the Xbox have seen this and gone, that could be our official way. That could be our little in.
Oh, of course it is. Rather than spending
Play it on
time
your
and
phone.
effort to make a machine, you're like, well, Valve have made a machine here.
We like Valve. We're friends with Valve.
Let's launch an app on it, and it's done. Like, Valve are literally
Genius.
happy for you. If you want, you can uninstall Linux and put Windows on there, so you can actually install the Game Pass app on there. I'm not going to do that. I can't
That's if you're insane.
bother
That's
to
if
do
you're-
all that.
Linux is
kind of
better than
stuff.
Windows.
Yeah, I'm just going to stick to what's on there and what's offered. I've downloaded a few games on there. Now spoiled for choice, because I'm looking at going, which game do I play first?
yes,
So when are you going to
paralysis
play?
of choice.
Cool Zone.
When are you going to play Final Fantasy on that then?
I have Final Fantasy. I have the NES and the SNES Final Fantasy on here at the moment.
Good man. Yes.
What I did find out, though, was when I put all my NES and SNES games on there, and I was going through them all, and I was like, 90% of these are shit, aren't they? I started playing all these old games and like jumping in on stuff, and I was like, these are just bad. And so I'm going to go through it and just curate.
That's what I was saying to
list.
you the other day. Me and Biggie do that because we like this kind of scene. We just see if it can run, and then we just don't play it.
Just keep it in your
So we
memory.
just-
Oh, it does run.
I've spent
Yay.
more time fiddling around with stuff on this, setting up the ROMs and setting up the emulation and giving like custom backgrounds and getting things running, than I actually think I've played games on it yet.
Yeah. I've got
It's a
like
game within
so
itself.
much.
I've got 12,000 ROMs on my Mio Mini 2 Pocket, however it's called. I've not fucking played any of them. I've just tested them.
Yeah,
Yay!
I saw a meme which is basically a pie chart is like 80% of the time fucking around with the settings, 20% of the time playing. Might have even been less than that, but that's what it
I
feels
think
like.
that's the fun of it. It's like, do I want bilinear filtering? Do I not? Do I want CRT scan lines in? Yeah, let's have them in. That kind of shit. I love that shit. It's fun.
Got anti-glare screen on it, so I can go out and play it. I've
You play it on the
sat and
sunbed.
played it outside just to see what it looked like. Looks great. Yeah, it's just such a cool little machine. It's got these little trackpads on it as well, so it's got like a left and a right mouse button, so you can move
That's cool.
the mouse around on it. It comes
What's the,
with...
Battery life like.
That's
Not
the
good.
only downside to it. Is
Would
the
you expect
battery
it's
life.
so powerful? Of course,
If
battery
you're
life's
gonna-
gonna be
That's
If
poor.
you're
what
going to play an indie game, you might get 4.5 hours out of it. You're going to play a AAA game, you're going to need a portable charger.
Look, let's be realistic. Like, the Switch is not powerful, and that battery's shit. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I was going to say you can only get 2 hours of Breath of the Wild out of the Switch.
yeah, at best. And I've got the second edition of the Switch, and it's still maybe 3 hours of Breath of the Wild at a push
Yeah.
on
What you
low
could
lighting.
do is
This is-
remove your desktop PC out the way, and you could get a dock for the Steam and put that there in the lounge instead.
Yeah,
That'd just be-
that's what you
Yeah.
can literally get a dock for these, and you could hook up to my TV, and
that could be your computer.
I could play with a PS5 Wii controller, not Wii,
Mega,
Switch
innit?
controller, or an Xbox controller. You can hook any controller you want up to it and play that. Just put it. There's a little dock that my friend's bought. It says it works really well, so I might look into that. Just
Badass.
because sometimes I like having a desktop PC and I play online with my mates, but sometimes after you've been at a desk all day at work or you've worked from home, coming and then sitting to play a game on your desktop is a bit like, ugh.
He needs his desktop for Valheim when that updates. It's got more
Yeah.
stuff to add
I
to
can
it.
play Valheim on this.
And the forest. He needs it for his little
The
his
forest
little games
too, yeah.
where he likes getting wood and stuff. He loves wood. That boy. He
Yeah,
loves a bit of wood.
But I tried some big games on this to see what it was like. I played Death Stranding on it, ran perfectly fine. I was bombing around on the trike.
See, that's the thing. The Death Stranding at that kind of, because you showed that's immense on a hand. That's still, it astounds me how it runs on a PS5. It's that beautiful.
It's.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, you're going to get a bit of graphical downgrade.
Of course
on
you
that,
are.
But
Who gives a fuck?
you've played games like Death Stranding or Red Dead Redemption 2 or
It's mental, isn't it?
Spider-Man that's just getting released on Steam this week, and those
Yeah.
games will play on this, and that's incredible. I played GTA 5 online on this, and
It's
no
insane.
issues, not one issue with connecting or any frame rate drops or anything. And I know that game's nearly 10-year-old now, but it still feels like crazy that I could play GTA 5 online on a handheld device.
Yeah. It's mega, man. Does it feel good to hold then? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not getting any fatigue?
No, it feels really good. I think it feels a lot nicer to hold than the Switch does because it's just a chunky little boy.
I think the Switch is a little bit too small, personally, and I've only got little hands. I think it's a little bit too small. Not width-wise, I think the actual controls are just shit.
When I saw where the button layout was on this originally, I did think, oh, you're going to have to stretch your thumbs all the way up to the top for the analogs. Just feels fine. You've got
bigger thumbs, innit?
Yeah, you've got some paddle buttons at the back as well, so you've got 4 paddle buttons at the back, so if you have a game where you want a racing game and use the paddles for gears or shift and stuff like that, going up and down the gears, then you can do that. It's a cracking that machine. Expensive as fuck, I won't lie, and ridiculous to get hold of at the moment. Your Gadget's got one pre-ordered, and he's probably looking like
next year at some point.
Next year, yeah. So
you can go to CEX and get one for £1,000 if you want.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
you
can do that.
And you can put like a terabyte of SD card in this if you want.
It's mad, that, innit?
Yeah, you just the top one is a 512 gigabytes. Yeah, and you could put. I've got another 512 SD cards.
The thing is, you'd use that 1 terabyte SD card for all your ROMs and stuff that you don't want to use like the solid state stuff on. Do you know what I mean? The actual internal.
Yeah, I would do for that.
You'd use that for that.
I might start
run
doing
it off the actual deck.
What I might start doing is putting the bigger games on the deck, and then any smaller indie games that aren't going to be, as chuggy.
Yeah. Like you're not going to complain at Hollow Knight being on your SD card. It's not going to make any difference.
No. So yeah, love it so far. I'm looking forward to getting to playing with it more and going on holiday soon. So it'd be nice little see how it does on a plane journey.
Make sure you get insurance on your luggage, because that's expensive to put. I wouldn't dare go on holiday without. I'd shit myself.
This thing's coming with me,
in your hand. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's going to be in my bag. I'm not going to put it in my luggage. That would defeat the object of playing it on a plane.
Play games on a plane. I can't do it. I can't play games on a plane. It makes me sick.
Same.
I take my Vita with me when I go on a plane.
I never do. I always say I'll pack this and I'll play this. I never do. No, I can't do it. I have to sit there, even if it's a 7-hour flight. I'll just stare out of the window until I'm touched down.
Same. I have to grip onto the arms, otherwise that plane's going down.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I'm terrified of flying. Ugh, horrible. Anyway, before this becomes a Steam Deck podcast, Biggie.
I had a bit of a retro week this week, so something a bit different. I ended up doing a bit of catch up on the iPlayer with MasterChef. I'm not a very good cook, but I really appreciate the TV. Yeah, I just really appreciate watching that show. I think it's fascinating.
I didn't know it was still going.
People. Yeah, I'm looking back at the 2019 episodes at the moment. Just really enjoy it. It is what it is. It's just.
I feel like that show was on when I was a kid.
It was in a different format.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet it was all like, and this is how we cook asparagus.
No.
It was fucking get that stew and dumplings in there.
It's still a cooking competition, but it was one with Lloyd Grossman in there, and that weird kind of black and red.
Who lives in a house like this?
Yeah. And now it's more like a competition show with they have 20 people and they whittle it down.
That's right.
Does it have panning shots and tense music now? It's got to do, hasn't it?
Of course.
The one with Greg Wallace you're watching, isn't it?
Yeah.
Australian version's miles better.
Australian version's
better. There are.
They got rid of the 3 hosts on that for some new ones, because me and Kate are going to jump back in. I was like, oh, there's new hosts.
Fair dinkum, welcome to fucking MasterChef.
I was like,
when Michelle LaRue moved on, that was a real shame. But yeah, it's still the same format. It's just something simple and easy to watch. You just switch off and watch it. Something else that I did restart was The Sopranos. I've gone back to watching that again. And I do it every year, mate.
I do it every fucking year.
So good. Just
a show ever
stuff
made.
I completely forgot about. Just love it. It's such a damn good show. And the only other thing I did was we've been playing Battlefield 2042, as you know, but we got a bit fed up with the same kind of maps. They've not really updated so much. So a few of us reinstalled Battlefield 4, went back to that. And
which we told you to do when it came out.
I know, but we ended up going back to that, and it still rocks.
And it's a good game.
Great game.
It's a complete game.
But no, it's just we're still going to go back to 2042. Just going to bounce between them. But just a really good, perfectly running shooter now. It's great fun. But that's it. Yeah, literally Battlefield 4.
I do have a question. What is it with you and like holding on to failed things like Killzone, Battlefield? You've got that. I think you really like an underdog, don't you?
I'm gunning for the underdog. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're a kind-hearted man.
Biggie lives the sunk cost
won't
fallacy.
let it die.
He's probably going to buy Anthem now after that news. It's like, come on, guys, we can do it. We can do it. I bet he's going to get Haze and think of some more failed shooters. Too human.
Blink.
Yeah.
Blink.
Yeah, Brink. How about Blink? Yeah,
Brink.
whatever it was. Fucking
Brink.
shite.
Yeah.
Pariah on the original Xbox. Remember that failed Halo beta?
Oh, yeah. Do you remember
Fucking
when every shooter after 2003 came out the Halo beater?
Yeah, none of them ever did it.
No.
None of them beat it. Oh, dear.
Apart from Killzone 2.
Fucking shite. Oh, Gadget, what you been doing, man? Something more exciting than that, surely.
Yeah, so I finished reading a book this week. Stinky going to be very happy because I just finished The Lies of Locke, Lamora by Scott Lynch, and it's
Finally.
fucking brilliant.
Told you about it. It's good.
Such a good
I keep
book.
telling people to read this, and then no one ever does. But thankfully you listened and read it.
Yeah, well, it was
He's a good friend.
This one came about because I just finished the second Expanse book, and I've been on a sci-fi binge all year. I was just like, I need something different. So The Lies of Locke Lamora is it's a fantasy novel set in. It's a vaguely Venice-like place called Camor, kind of late medieval, maybe early mid-millennium kind of vibe to it. The book follows the trials and tribulations of the Gentlemen Bastards, who are a collection of thieves who are master conmen, led by Locke Lamora. It's a really interesting book of kind of intricate social circles in terms of the underworld that they exist in, because the Gentlemen Bastards are just one of a group of kind of criminals in the underworld referred to as the Right People, who are ruled over by a man called Kappa Barsavi. And it's one of those kind of situations. He's the mob boss. They've got to give him their dues. And there is a general kind of accepted within Camor this secret peace where the thieves and denizens are kind of usually allowed to get on with their thing as long as they don't fuck around by stealing from nobility or trying to fuck with the yellow jackets, the guards, or just piss the normal people off. Petty theft is what they want to do. So what do the Gentlemen Bastards do? They break the secret peace by being master conmen and fleecing the nobility. Like, properly taking all of their money, or every last white crown they have.
I like them.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're called bastards for a reason. But the actual characters themselves are they're very charming. They're very lovely. The kind of the group of the Gentlemen Bastards themselves, they work really well together. The world is extraordinarily well written. Like, it is brilliantly detailed. The world, even down to the point where it's like Scott Lynch has got names for days of the week. Or
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like festivals that go on in Camor.
I do like that when they've actually gone like it always makes me laugh when in Tolkien, like one of my favourite fantasy writers ever, but he's still got February, January. Do you know what I mean? He's like, why would he have a Gregorian calendar?
Oh yeah, no, well, not like Scott Lynch has gone to the far end of a thought here because you have because there's a pantheon of 13 gods. Or rather, 12 gods, but the 13th god is the Crooked Warden, who is the one that thieves pray to. But so each year of the world is in the X year for this god. So
sounds very Skyrim to me.
Yeah, so effectively every year is 12 years because it's that number year for that god.
Right. No, I like it. I like that. That's when they've actually put some backstory in something.
Well, the backstory is quite important. The backstory is quite important because the book is kind of laid out as two separate books, effectively smashed together. One of them is the kind of the grown-up Locke Lamora and the Gentlemen Bastards dealing with a mysterious criminal called the Grey King who is murdering the right people, and it's kind of working out how to deal with him. And then that's supplanted with the other story, which is Locke Lamora as a young orphan who is sold to Father Chains, who is the guy that leads the Gentleman Bastard at the beginning of the book, and how he is raised up, how he is trained in all the ways, like the amount of training they go through to be the perfect. They call it, what do they call it? Face magic or something like that. They call it. Then it's not actual magic, but it's basically their ability to use any accent, their ability to affect any dialect, or to know.
It's deception rather than magic.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate in deception. Like, if they're caught and they run, they can go into a crowd, put a hat on, kind of walk differently, and they become a different person. That kind of thing.
Like Darren Brown.
A little bit, yeah. So it's all that. There's a lot of psychology behind it as well, but it's just really fucking well written. It's bloody good. And I would say the last three or four chapters, they're big, heavy chapters. The last 3 or 4 chapters, I was absolutely fucking gripped. I read them in like a night because I just didn't want to put it down, because the pace of the story towards the sharp end of it is absolutely brilliant. Heavily recommend, and I've already ordered the sequel.
You'll be pleased to know, and Stig as well, after the last time you discussed it, I used my Audible credit this month on that very book.
You'll enjoy it.
Very good.
You'll really enjoy it.
That's getting listened to.
Really well narrated as well. The guy.
Yeah, it's got masses. It's got every review's 5 stars on it. I've never seen that in a long time on Audible. It's just full 5 stars. And on Audible, they usually review the actual prose of the actual recording rather than the book, don't they? And I was like, wow.
He does a lot of like voices for characters and stuff, but it is really distinctive, so you know who.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about the book is just the way the characters speak to each other. Like, they're so well written. Like, it makes you laugh. Like, some of the stuff they say, it's just witty and clever. And
I very much like the bickering between Callow and Galdo, the two twins.
Yes,
they're particularly funny. The two of them kind of batting back between each other. And
I am down to fuck with Locke Lamora, definitely.
The action sequences as well, like Scott Lynch has got a really interesting way of writing sword fights. It's almost like when you read it, it's like you're watching it in slow motion. Like, the detail is that rich. There's a really interesting fight towards the end with Jean Tannen, who was the fighter of the group. And he fights with a pair of axes that he calls the Wicked Sisters. And
John's class.
Yeah, it's basically I think it's referred to as the Wicked Sisters fight. It's quite near the end of the book. But the way that fight is described, it's brutal and it's heavy and it's so fucking good.
I think when I was listening to the audiobook recently and did that, there's a part in that, and I genuinely think that I was like, oof, like that. Like, I give that out like an audible, like, just of how brutal it is.
I'm down. I'm proper up for it. I can't wait.
2 more books in that series at the moment.
Yeah, he's writing the 4th, isn't he?
He said on Twitter about a month or so ago, I think this is what prompted me to tell Gadget to read it and re-listen to it, is he's finally handed something in. He's been dealing with a lot of kind of mental health problems and stuff that it's put a massive stop on his writing, but he's finally handed something into his publisher. He said something is like very close to coming, so
waiting for the editors. Ooh,
I can't wait for that. I might actually just read that one rather than wait for the audiobook, just because it's
get it done.
Yeah. Can't wait for that.
Cool. Anything else there, Gadget? Or are we done?
Just the big thing.
The big thing. Candy, anything other than the big thing?
I'm just going to skim over it quite quickly, actually, because I want to get to the big thing. So
this is a chunky podcast, listeners, as well. I do apologise, but
this is going to be an absolute bumper episode, isn't it? So
it's the final of the heat. Let's do it.
Bask in it.
Yeah.
So remember, speaking of the heat, do you remember that really hot day last week where you just could not escape it?
Yep.
Are you fucking kidding? Fucking Tuesday, I was dying, mate. I was dying. 41 degrees.
So we came up with a bright idea to go to the cinema to just take full advantage of their air conditioning and ice cream, basically. And the film we chose to go and see was Where the Crawdads Sing, which is what I kind of wanted to watch it for a while anyway.
Yeah.
And it's based on the book by best-selling novelist Delia Owens. Also, I'm very tired today because of the big thing, so apologies if this is going to be absolutely useless. So full disclosure, I haven't read the novel, or I certainly hadn't before seeing the film. I've actually started to listen to it on audiobook now, so I don't know how it compares in terms of being true to the novel. But I think the first thing I would say is going into the film, if I didn't know it was based on a book, I very quickly would have. There are some pacing issues that I think are from trying to skip out what isn't needed and just stick to the main things. And I think there's probably quite a bit lost because of that. And then weirdly, there's things that are put in that don't seem to go anywhere. So basically, it's the story of Kaya, played by Daisy Edgar Jones, who's a girl that's grown up in the marshes of North Carolina in the 50s. And she finds herself as a prime suspect in a murder investigation after the body of a young man is found in the marshes. There's quite a lot of time jumps in the film. So where we start is she's in a courtroom, and it goes back to how she ended up to be. So it goes all the way back to her childhood. And basically, she's been left in the marshes. Her family have all left her one by one for various reasons. And she's been left to bring herself up. And because of that, she does occasionally go into town. But because of that, people kind of, they shun her, and she's a bit of an outsider. And they don't really fear her, but they're just kind of, they just don't want anything to do with her. It's, as a film, it's fine. Like I said, it has some pacing issues. The main actress, she does a really standout job. The rest of the actors, it's not bad. It's just not great. And I did have a little bit more to say about it. I'll probably put it in the Discord, but I want to get to the big thing, like I said. First hour drags a little bit. It does pick up a little bit in the second hour. I wouldn't rush out to see it. I wouldn't rush out to see it in the cinema.
It is a shame, because this came up in one of my reading groups a while back. It's like a New York Times bestseller, that book.
By all accounts, the book's amazing. So I wouldn't say miss the book. And like I said, I've started it on audiobook now, so I'll be able to tell you how different it is. I imagine it's probably not too dissimilar. But it's fine for a Sunday afternoon watch. You'll get sucked in. Just if there's nothing else on, you really want to go to the cinema
trip on that, mate.
Unless you want to use their air conditioning.
No, I ain't got one of those passes that you've got.
Oh, the posh person passes. But
Blowjob pass.
The main thing, and I think you're all going to want to chime in, is Stray.
It's actually called Cat Game.
The Cat Game. Cat Simulator, 2000.
That's good, wasn't it? Right, onto the main feature.
Yeah, it's good. Bye. So, yeah, I've been looking forward to it for quite some years, and it got delayed last year as well, and it just out of the blue kind of dropped within the last couple of months. Like, we didn't get a whole lot of warning, so it was nice. And I have to say, it's really exceeded all my hopes and dreams by a mile.
Really?
At its core, it is a 3D platformer, as you probably know, set within a cyberpunk city inhabited by robots. But it seems wrong to kind of characterize it purely as a platformer, because when you do travel into the different sections of the city, you've just got loads of different gameplay elements kind of as you go along, some stealth, some action, some puzzle solving. So with that said, if you're not enjoying a certain part of the game quite so much, stick with it, because the gameplay will be different on the next section. There was one part where I was enjoying a little bit less, and I was worried that it was going to continue with that gameplay mechanic but become more difficult. And I needn't have worried. It was fine. It just kind of moved on.
It lasted 2 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah, 2 minutes, and then it was gone. It's not a difficult game. There's some gentle problem solving. Nothing you're likely to get stuck on. I
had to ask you for help.
Well, you didn't ask. I gave you a gentle push in the right direction.
It helped. It made me complete the game today.
Oh,
like a can off a shelf.
It's nothing. You would have got it eventually, wouldn't you? It's nothing you would have been stuck on for more than 10 minutes.
I was walking around for fucking ages. I didn't know what to do. It was flashing me bastard head.
Action sequences as well. They probably won't take you more than a couple of attempts. One thing I actually should mention is, and this worried me going into it, there's no long drawn out cat death scenes. So if you fail, the screen goes red. The cat drops down. You can see him still breathing.
Oh, you can die.
Yeah, you can be killed in the game.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
just
see a
says
game
try
over
again.
screen.
Yeah, well, you want to do it 9 times because you'll get a trophy for it.
Oh, fuck. I didn't die. I didn't die once.
Right, play it again.
I got stuck. Oh, fuck's sake.
But yeah, no, I mean, if it was anything too harrowing, I certainly wouldn't be able to deal with it.
What
so
killed
if you're
you
worried
then?
about
What could you get killed by?
You get killed by the little Zerk things, you get killed by the drones.
Don't get seen.
Don't get seen. I got seen.
Metal Gear Master.
Yeah. Visually, absolutely stunning. Like I'm a sucker for cyberpunk stuff anyway. But the colors just look so vivid, especially in 4K. I just want to just reach into the screen. Just that kind of scenery is just beautiful. But the best part of the game is that it doesn't forget it's a cat game. I had the best time just walking around, exploring the city, talking to people, but mostly just doing cat things. Like you can scratch sofas, pop off paint pots, rub against people's legs. You can trip them up. That was my favourite bit. Scratch the carpet, trip people up. You can make biscuits on the carpet, curl up into a little ball to sleep. Blue 12 absolutely understood the audience.
You can't shit or piss, though, can you?
I mean, it's not a long game, so you might not need to.
That's good on the back of the box.
I was kind of looking for, like, can I poo and make one of the robots stand in the poo?
Should have locked
Hairball.
I did enjoy chasing the trophies for, like, the just being a dickhead cat things.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that.
Like, there's one where there's a couple of...
I'm only 2 trophies away from platinum in it.
There's one where there's a couple of robots that are playing like a mahjong style game. You can jump up on the table and wreck it. Or,
they go mental, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't understand how the robots can act more human than humans in games do.
Yeah.
It's
did you like? It's not really a spoiler. Did you like the subplot that it was like? Because this is what I know. Because, like I said, I completed it today. It seems like it was a lockdown analogy.
I noticed
from
that,
what we all
wonder,
lived through.
Yeah, I did. Because I did notice that, and
it was funny that the cat was the only free life form in the entire game.
I don't know if that could have just been coincidence though, because it's been in development.
Because they started in 2015.
Yeah, but at the same time, there were potentially 1 or 2 lines added in that may have just made it in at the last minute.
Yeah, and there was a few moments where it was literally like, I can't wait for this lockdown to be over, that kind of thing. I was like, But yeah, I went. Go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, forgive my ignorance, but I assume that they either took a lot of film footage of cats or motion capture. I imagine the animation of the actual cat itself was spot.
They're all cat people that made it. They're all proper cat people.
There is a cat.
Actually, you'll love this, Biggie.
There's a cat.
The cat so there is a cat that did the voice acting for this cat, but the actual inspiration for it was the developers' cats, Murtaugh and Riggs.
Yep.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. But like
the voice actor was called Lala.
When I first booted this game up, like both my dogs went ballistic. My cat was enraptured by it, like everyone else's cat. What I did, I liked that. I never got chat because it is a brief game. I think it took me like 4 hours or something.
Yeah,
total.
It's about a 4 or 5 hour game.
I think it took me 8 because I was wandering around doing cat things.
Yeah, I mean, if you are a trophy chaser, I reckon it could be a 10-hour game if you really push in. But I think I never got bored of any one moment because I didn't have time to get bored, and I think the pacing's fantastic. I also really like the fact that, because at first, when I first started playing it, I thought, I'm just going to be a cat that annoys people that can't talk to me. But the hook where you have a little robot mate, he translates stuff, and I'm assuming he's speaking cat back to you because you listen to him. Do you know what I mean? Because if I told my cat to go and find me a battery, it wouldn't come back with a battery.
Well, I mean, it's sort of, it's not really explained.
He's a clever kitty.
Trying not to. It's probably not spoiling it, but for the same reason that he knew how to communicate with the robot, knew how to communicate with the other robots.
I reckon he's speaking cat, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like that there's no real voice acting in this, apart from the cat, obviously. And at first I thought it was going to be cat in peril, because there's a big cat in peril moment at the beginning, and it really made me sad. But no, it's not, is it? It's more an expression of theme and expression of freedom, isn't it? And I think it absolutely nails that. I think it's an absolutely lovely. It does have potential to be some people's game of the year.
It's mine for sure.
Yeah,
I said to Gadget last night it could be even in my top 10 of games of all time.
I couldn't argue with someone for that. It didn't do enough for me to like change the mold in that kind of narrative, but there were never a second I was bored, and not many games do that anymore.
I think, there's a trend to making games as long as they can be, and as many side quests and these repeatable quests, but it just goes to show that a game doesn't need to be that long.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Like, there was enough of a story that it didn't start to drag, like you said, and within maybe like 4 or 6 hours of story, it really packed an emotional punch as well. Like, you don't need all this time to bond with characters. If it does everything it needs to within the time frame, you don't need all the extra gump.
It should always be quality over quantity.
It should be, but it never is. We're also seeing a resurgence again of good ginger representation in game characters. Cal Kestis in Star Wars. We've got Kat, good ginger. I like seeing it. It's good. It's good for the medium. More gingers in games. I feel like people should agree with me on that.
I knew this game would be great. I literally, the first time we saw it, I said, that's one of the games that I want to play. I can't wait to play that. Just like literally
it's sensational.
Playing as a cat. Just so simple of an idea, but so much fun. And the way they've nailed the actual mannerisms of a cat is where it jumps, it lands, the little memes.
The bit at the very beginning where
as you like rub up against
he's with his family, he's with his cat family. He's the cutest thing.
I know.
They're all just running in and out of each other like cats do. They have a little fight. They curl up together. Oh my god!
You have a little drink out of puddles. And...
Yeah, the beginning's sensational.
There's a moment quite early on when you find your little robot buddy, and he's like, "Oh, I need to come with you, but I can't. My batteries won't last long, so I'm going to give you a little backpack so I can fly along with you."
Oh, when he's walking,
he puts this kind of harness thing on the cat, and it immediately just the cat like freezes up and just flops onto the side like my cat does if I put a harness on him, and then gets up and starts walking away with like his hind legs like proper dipped for 10 paces. It's like, yeah, these guys get cats. Like the behavior is fucking brilliant.
I did see it on Twitter again. You're part of it. I did see this on Twitter where people were moaning that, oh yeah, we get a great cat game, but we haven't got a good dog game. It's like, fucking hell. This is as bad as saying I don't want to play as a girl.
How many
let cats have a moment?
How many games have a dog sidekick?
Okami is the best dog game.
You got Riley in Call of Duty Ghosts. What more do you want?
We have good dog games.
The only cat mannerism that I haven't got very far in it yet, but there's one point where it does kind of puff up. Well, that's the thing. It doesn't puff up. He goes up on and kind of
puts these heckles.
Hisses.
The heckles.
But the fur doesn't puff up, and I was like, I wanted it to like proper go.
It does on PS5, mate.
Like when my cat does that, like the tail goes. Her tail goes from this little thin thing to just being like this massive
weapon.
Yeah, brush.
I will say that there's loads of little mannerisms. My favourite one that I encountered, it was only when Pip pointed out to us that I actually noticed he was doing it, and it's just such a typical cat behaviour. I was running around and I found something that I was looking for in the game, and when you're kind of exploring, his tail's up.
Yes. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah,
and that's obviously a sign of a happy cat or an interested cat when their tail is up, and it's just like, they have really got it down. So I'm really happy with it. I thought it was a fucking brilliant little game. And the soundtrack is banging some huge synthwave tunes in there.
I was going to say that this is one of the first games I've played in ages where I didn't listen to a single podcast or anything.
Oh no, it's a good soundtrack.
I was just in. Best cyberpunk game ever made.
Yeah.
I can say that. I can absolutely say that.
And the last thing is like the little shortcuts in the levels where you get to sit in a bucket and ride down. They're just really cute with his little paws hanging over the edge.
And the fact that you can meow at any time, even in cutscenes, and you can make the cutscenes better by meowing.
Yeah. If you are a cat lover, though, I have a testament to this because Candy was playing it last night after we'd finished our D&D recording, and she was getting to the end of it and finishing, and I said, it's a mascara warning. And I have a series of pictures of Candy's mascara getting further and further down her cheeks.
Mate, it got that ending got me as well.
Let's talk the ending, please.
Yeah, I know, but all I'm saying is if you're a mascara wearer, when you get to the end of the game, make sure you take it off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Excellent. This podcast has gone on long enough. Let's end it. I'm joking. It's time for the final topic of our summer extravaganza. We are going to talk about heat. The heat, not the film, the actual temperature. Films or mediums that's got a real emphasis on heat, hotness, sweating, all in betweens. So, who's the hottest of us all?
pretty warm right now, to be fair. Warm.
There you go then, Stig. You've just nominated yourself to go first.
That's fine. Got to go at some point.
Gotta go.
So, if there's one film in recent years that exudes heat, for me, it's Mad Max Fury Road.
Hot.
Yep, this film came out in 2015. It's the prequel to Mel Gibson's films of the 70s and 80s, and I think just one of the best action films of the last... one of the best action films ever made, to be fair, yeah. Don't even have to quantify it within the last 10 years. No. It is just one of the best action films ever made. But where it obviously fits in with this week's feature is the way the film looks, how it's shot, how it's edited, everything just looks hot, sweaty,
sweltering, mate. Sweltering.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was kind of looking up a few things as well. I found this said the original Fury Road was intended to be shot in Broken Hills in New South Wales, Australia. But after several years of heavy rainfall, the area started to bloom with wildflowers. Yeah. So it made it unsuitable to film as a wasteland. So they moved it to...
We need a desert.
The deserts of Namibia. It's a coastal African country where they have sand dunes measuring 1,000 feet high and 20 miles long. Frequent sandstorms and intense heat required special precautions by the camera crew. And it shows because in the actual film it's filmed in this hot, dry location, and you really get a sense of that when you're watching it. Like I said, everything looks hot, everyone looks sweaty. Even the vehicles look like they're sweating. You know, these big, huge, bulking metal monstrosities that they've made with, where everything just, it looks like if you touch them, you would burn your hand. Like all these engines just in this, when they have the engine at the front, like a Dom Toretto style.
Yeah, V8.
Yeah, and they've all got stuff like that going on. They've all got these exhaust pipes just flowing flames everywhere. And
Witness me!
On the top of that, there's like a sepia colour grading over the top of it all to make it just look even hotter. And it just makes this... It's a post-apocalyptic world, isn't it? It's
post-apocalypse.
It genuinely looks like hell on earth. Like it's scorched earth, isn't it? It's
water as a resource is more valuable than any other.
Yeah.
It's sensational.
And the big set piece with the sand storm, like the huge storm that comes in, that just makes it look even more of a hellscape. It looks terrifying. Huge sand tornadoes, there's lightning crashing everywhere, there's pretty vehicles just bursting into flames and blowing up everywhere. It's just
it
fire.
Looks red hot.
It does. I think it just looks red.
The guy
hot.
on the guitar, the flames come out. It makes Rammstein look fucking cool.
I was going to get to that. Yeah, cool. I was saying with all the explosions and going off, there's just and flames and stuff. Like this film, it loves flames. It's flames coming out. When you think of something that's hot, you think of flames as well, don't you? Like fire. And there is fire all over this film, whether, like I said, it's coming out of the engines, out of the exhaust pipes, where it's coming from a guy with a flamethrower on the end of his guitar, stood there in front of this huge sound system on top of this.
He's got a big jumpsuit on, like Slipknot as well.
Absolutely incredible. Like the imagination to come up with this stuff is just incredible. Tom Hardy said that this isn't a film. When you're watching this, you're inside his head.
Yes, yeah.
What's his name? Frank Miller, isn't it?
George Miller.
George Miller. Sorry, yeah. He said you're just in George Miller's head, like you're not in the film. Like it's just everything that's just whirling around in his head.
Which is mad to think because he is an OAP.
Yeah,
he's not a young man.
No, but he's, they're working on two sequels, well, a prequel and a sequel to this now as well.
The only gripe I've got with this film, because I think it's a fucking masterpiece. I wish they had the balls to just call it Furiosa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's coming now, isn't it? So
yeah,
because it's
not a Mad Max film, is it?
Definitely more her film.
He's just in it.
He's just in it. He hardly speaks. He mumbles a lot, but he looks fucking just like he's just got that.
He's the new
mask on where he's held prisoner, and sweating all the time. It's
on the Blu-ray. There's a behind the scenes, and there's a scene where Tom Hardy's got off the bonnet, and where he's got that top on. That it's like a weird burlap chuffing top or something like that. I don't know. but he takes it off and he wrings it out, and it just Tom Hardy sweat.
I'm not
Tom Hardy
surprised.
sweat. You could sell that shit on eBay.
I bet,
as well, Tom
I
Hardy
bet
sweat.
I bet so many of this cast and crew just had to get like
Drifting.
pulled out of the like.
Yeah,
when I've been
leather.
to the gym and I've got my bloody body warmer thing stuck to me, I'm like, Kate, you're gonna have to peel this off me.
Can you get my leotard off, please?
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I said, everything in this film looks and feels intense. The landscapes, the huge trucks, vehicles, the flames, explosions, the sand. It makes you want to be at the bottom of that waterfall that Immortan Joe bumps on everyone.
God, yeah.
But even at that point as well, like you look at the people and they are dry, they're dirty, their skin, the lips are all cracked because it's just hot.
That water looks warm,
extremely fucking hot.
Yeah. Oh,
And yeah,
great.
I just couldn't think of like a film that was. I've got some good ones that I want to mention. I'll mention in the green room. But
Yep.
this film was just the heat is there from the beginning to the end. It isn't just
There's lots of shots of just the
not
sun
just
as well.
the
Just
setup.
like,
Yeah, it's incredible.
just to hammer it home. There's a fucking sun up there. Have you seen a cloud? No.
Yeah. Have you seen any shade? Because there's no fucking
No.
shade out in the desert.
No.
And you're
I do
all
like the
blowing
juxtaposition
blowing
with
each other up.
with the night time though. How it is cooler and people have got you can see the goosebumps on their arms because deserts get cold and stuff. I do like that, and then it brings home the heat at the finale.
They're
It's fantastic.
ridiculous, aren't they?
I need to
Deserts
rewatch
are-
that movie again.
What a
Just-
stupid fucking biome, a desert. What
It
a
is.
stupid thing. Make your mind up.
Yep, that's mad.
Excellent. Biggie!
So I went in a slightly different direction, but bear with me.
Leave it open.
I want to talk about J-Lo. So for me,
Are you being serious?
She's up.
there is a reason. So for me,
I'm worried.
I developed a massive crush on J-Lo back in the day.
And it made
It
you
was
hot,
for two
yeah?
reasons. It was for two reasons, because she appeared in two back-to-back movies, 97 and 98. And the first movie that she appeared in that I kind of first was like, oh, who's she? Was U-Turn. And it was directed by the Oliver Stone. It was an unusual departure
I've
for
never even
him.
heard of this. And I love Oliver Stone.
Well, you know what a lot of his movies are, these sort of political dramas and stuff that he's generally renowned for. But this is slightly different. So this starred, it was quite a massive cast actually. I'll run through a few of the big names. Sean Penn plays the main character, Bobby Cooper.
What?
Jennifer Lopez, Nick Nolte, Powers Booth, Claire Danes, Joaquin Phoenix, John Voight,
Fucking
Billy
hell.
Bob Thornton, Julie Haggerty, Liv Tyler, and Laurie Metcalf all appear with
Was
different
this
cameos
film
in
being
this.
all my life?
Christ, everyone's in it.
Fucking hell.
And it was filmed during bizarrely November 96 through to January 97, but it was on location
hottest
in
month.
Superior in Arizona. And
Oh, sorry,
it was,
sorry to interrupt, Biggie. I've just gone onto the Wikipedia. John Voight plays a character called Blind Indian.
Ooh.
It says it says blind man on IMDb.
Yeah, because they've retconned it.
Also, looking at the trailer for this, it's coming up on IMDb. I'm not surprised that you developed a crush on her.
yeah. So it was filmed in other areas of Arizona and California, including the Coachella Valley. And it was filmed entirely on reversal stock. I don't know an awful lot about that, but it basically gave it an extra harsh look to the hostile environment because this movie gives you heat. It is so hot looking in this movie. It's filmed basically in a sort of one of those Western type towns in America. It's a real hick kind of inbred characters. It's just, gnarly. And the character Bobby Cooper is a drifter in debt to a gangster. His car breaks down in Superior, Arizona. He's stranded and broke, and he ends up meeting Jake and Grace McKenna, a father and daughter, who are also a married couple.
Oh,
They basically
What
separately
films
approach
do you
Bobby,
watch, man?
and they separately approach Bobby to kill each other for money. So it's just one of those kind of double-crossing kind of movies. It's one of those films where you get shots lingering on the characters. It might be just looking at their eyes. You've
Do you mean
got
their
things
ass?
like cockroaches crawling over the environment, snakes and spiders, all that kind of thing. There's cactus or
Gadgets
cacti with the sun burning in the background. The characters are sweating. There's a running joke where Sean Penn's character, every time he wants to get a beverage, something happens and his drink gets smashed, knocked over, etc. You just feel the heat in this movie. But what was the standout for me was J-Lo in this she's poured into this orange dress, cut very, very short, very figure-hugging. She was sultry as hell. And she basically owns the movie in any of the scenes that she's in. She plays that sort of flirty minx character, which
Jenny
obviously is going to double-cross him. But, yeah, I thought she was fantastic in this. And then following that, she then went on to appear in Out of Sight, one of my favourite movies of all time, which was directed by Steven Soderbergh and starred George Clooney, of course. And what stood out for this was that, again, it was a completely different against-type character for J-Lo. She played an FBI agent in this movie. And it's a brilliant American crime comedy. If you've never seen this movie, you have to watch it. It's so
I have seen it, and
good.
I didn't really like it. Sorry, mate.
Very clever wordplay. Go back and watch it again. You'll be surprised and realise how good a movie it is. But what really stood out for me in Out of Sight was, again, J-Lo looking stunning as ever. But the chemistry between her and George Clooney, when you get certain, characters on screen that are supposed to gel and have this connection, it is so there. The chemistry between them is so good. And there's a lot of unspoken moments, words, etc., where they look at each other, and the chemistry between them is so fucking hot. There's a particularly very sexy scene with them. They spend the first part of the movie in a boot, just chatting, because they chuck her into a boot when they escape. George Clooney is in prison, and he escapes with Ving Rhames. Ving Rhames drives the car. As they get out of where they're escaping, Karen Sisko, which is J-Lo's character, happens to be just as they come out the hole. They grab her, chuck her in the boot, and Clooney goes in the boot with her, and they have this really cool conversation in the boot. But the chemistry between them is really cool.
For
but
our
again,
American listeners, it means a trunk. Not an actual
trunk,
shoe.
whatever. But,
no, you're right. I'm just saying.
It was just, I thought the heat, the chemistry between them. So I took it on a different angle, but I just thought it was so good. The chemistry between them, and J-Lo was just so sultry. So for me, I just wanted to choose something a bit different and went with the heat from a character. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really the remit, but
the first movie was.
Hey, when you've broken Candy, she's pissing herself.
Do you know where I thought you were going to go with the second film? You said, the first film says Anaconda.
Anaconda. Warm, isn't it?
No.
Warm. Yeah, warm.
I thought he was going to go to The Cell and how she looked in it.
Seriously, I seriously recommend U-Turn. Check it out.
Weapon.
Have you ever seen Money Train?
Go and check U-Turn. You'll understand what I mean from the heat in that movie as well.
It looks like it
one of the hottest looking movies
they all look sweaty
I've ever seen. Very, very much. And it's a really weird, hick movie. It's not Oliver Stone's best, but it's very underrated. It's a very unusual movie for him. I tell you what, it's a bit like Natural Born Killers. It's got that kind of vibe to it. Really weird shots and cinematography, things like that. Yeah, it's filmed in that kind of style. But yeah, really hot. So yeah, J-Lo.
J-Lo's hot. You heard it here first.
Who knew?
Absolutely.
Who knew? Candy, follow that.
I can't. I'm just, sorry.
She's bringing Ben Affleck, the other side to J-Lo.
Absolutely sent by your take on the subject this week.
I thought it was something different. I'm the sexiest man on the planet.
I love it.
I mean, it was wrong, but we're allowing it.
He's right. U-Turn is a hot movie.
Talked about the films.
Fucking hell, I'm hot now. Sweaty from laughing. Anyway, mine is not quite hot in the same sense, but I'm going with Rango. Rango was a industrial light and magic film, first full feature-length film. It won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature in 2012. Directed by Gore Verbinski, music by Hans Zimmer, stars Johnny Depp, Isla Fisher, Alfred Molina, Bill Nighy, Ray Winstone, among many others.
What a cast.
Ray Winstone.
Oh, absolute banger. Ray Winstone.
Rango, you can't.
You slag.
So Rango is a pet chameleon. He calls himself Rango, by the way. He finds himself alone after falling out of a car. After wandering the scorching Mojave Desert, he finds himself in the town of Dirt, a town in the middle of a drought, and the water supply is just mysteriously disappearing. And To use the opening scene as an example to tie into this week's theme, to heat, when Rango is ejected from his car along with a goldfish, the water from the smashed goldfish bowl just immediately evaporates from the road.
He also
Rango,
hits the car from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
and he's wearing the outfit that Hunter S. Thompson's wearing as well.
Yeah, and it's Johnny Depp, who played him.
Yeah, exactly, his best mate. So when Rango looks up at the sun beating down on him, and all the moisture on his skin just like immediately turns to kind
It's
of
his eyes.
Yeah,
It's his eyes
just kind of freezes in place. And when he does finally break free, he finally gets a little drop of water onto his tongue and just immediately skulls him. But it's just a really nice tribute to old spaghetti westerns, and there's plenty of Easter eggs and nods to them. I think it's one of those underrated gems. It got pushed aside a bit in favour of some of the Pixar films, which it's a shame, really, because although it's a bit drier in tone, pun intended.
Did you know it's actually a remake of one of the old Japanese samurai films, similar to like Yojimbo? I can't remember its name, where someone pretends to be a samurai and he has to save a town.
I had absolutely no idea about that.
Yeah, it's a remake of it, and it's sensationally done.
Oh, that's
just changed the scenery.
Yeah, just changed it to a western.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But yeah, I mean, the graphics themselves, they're sort of much darker, more textured, sort of realistic appearance than your standard 3D photo, especially that was coming out around the time. And
it scared my son. The film scared him.
I can understand why, because it's
the bird.
It's realistic, isn't it?
The snake and that.
You got the snake. Oh, what's the snake called? He's got a cool name. But anyway, yeah, no, it's everything looks kind of dusty and beaten up, and all the characters, they've got like limbs missing and ears missing, and you just kind of want to know what's happened to them, and that you can tell that they live in a rough, harsh environment.
I like the subtle details where they're just on edge of a golf course.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Tiny. The little things.
Well, there's little nods to them being like tiny as well, because Rango uses the loo. He's hiding in the loo from the bird, actually, and it's actually just a bottle.
Yeah. So good.
It's so good. Well, all the characters just have so much. Well, they have so much character, basically.
I do love Rango's design. He looks proper mental.
Yeah, he's got like the crooked neck and the one eye bigger than the other, and everything's
His eyes are never
asymmetrical.
facing the same way.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, my daughter loves it. She thought it was brilliant.
Oh, it scared my lad. My daughter's not seen it. She's not interested.
Yeah, I'm surprised because it's not really. I wouldn't say it's a kid film, is it? Like it's a family film, but
it's like an animated film for adults, really, especially with the references from all the westerns, samurai films, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Like, a kid's not going to go, it's Raoul Duke. Do you know, they're not going to do that. And they're not going to do that, are they?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, it's just fun. Like I said, it caters to a more mature audience, but it's just completely bizarre. And you do get a real sense of dryness as well from the Mojave. You got dust particles just all over the show. Scorched trees.
The Mojave is Vegas, isn't it?
Vegas, yeah.
I thought so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah, just a fun little hot film.
It's hot, mate. It's hot. And
hot, mate.
The water effects in this, I still think it's some of the best animated water effects I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they call it that on this, but it looks like ray tracing. I don't know what they call it on this. It's fucking sensational to say how old it is now.
Yeah, 2011 it came out.
I mean, it is ILM. They know how to do a bit of CGI, like. They don't fuck about.
Mm. But I watched it this afternoon. It holds up easily.
Yeah. I'd like to see a new Rango now that Johnny Depp's no longer a baddie. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to see. Cool. Gadget.
So I am taking it away from films and away from JLo. Actually, I was going to make a joke if you'd come to me after Biggie and say, "Well, my thing is Wild Things," but no. No, I'm heading deep dark back into video games because we're going to talk about Resident Evil 5. Actually, shockingly enough, when I went back into, I thought this was universally hated. Critics loved this. This is a really high Metascore.
It's the highest. It was the highest grossing Capcom game as well.
Yeah, mental. Anyway,
at one point.
Yeah, Resident Evil 5 came out in 2009 after. Was it 2005 for Resident Evil 4? So kind of a 4 or 5 year gap between them. This is the first one without Shinji Mikami. This one completely.
And you can tell.
This is the one where Chris Redfield goes to Africa to shoot a lot of brown people. And
Yep.
yeah, it's a bit of a racist game. The white man goes and shoots
A little bit.
The African
He
lady.
can't be racist. He's got a black partner.
But she's like really light skinned as well, that people very immediately noticed.
Oh God, it's such a shame, isn't it?
But yeah, you're the big buff American going shooting really poor people in the West African
American freedom,
country.
mate.
I think he heard that there was oil there, so you had to go in like
Freedom from your lives.
Yeah. But yes, the game is set in the fictional West African country of Kijuju, where Umbrella are up to their shady antics all over again. And
Fantastic token African name as well.
Even the
Kijuju.
name sounds like
Racist.
Yeah.
Well, and the people that you're fighting are the Magini.
Racist.
The game follows kind of almost directly on from Resident Evil 4, where what was the last Plagus parasite in that game has now become the Ouroboros virus. This game is in Africa. It's hot. The one thing, the art direction in Resident Evil 5, for all the game's narrative and mechanical faults, the art direction in 5 really sells that you're in kind of the desert. You're in kind of poor areas.
It's wobbly.
It's
you can see the
wobbly,
light
it's
bouncing off
hazy.
the ground.
It's got a kind of like washed out color palette, so everything feels kind of oppressively hot.
Yeah.
Even when you're at nighttime, it feels like it's still hot.
Yeah, it does.
But of course, the big one and the thing that everyone remembers this game, this is the one that ends in a volcano because reasons.
The hottest place on Earth.
Where Chris Redfield gets to punch a boulder in half so he can save Sheva from Albert Wesker's mutated version.
He punches it to use as a bridge, remember?
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, but it's fine, Gadget, because he wasn't very nice anyway.
Oh, that's such a good reference. If you want to know what we're talking about there, listen to the Green Room. Be a patron, because I'm going to talk about that then. It's a very silly, very offensive game in so many different ways.
Very offensive game.
But I will say, it really does sell being in Africa. I think
it plays well.
Yeah, it plays well. Yeah, fun to play it. Not single player because as well as
Sheva is terrible.
Yeah, as well as kind of slightly whitewashing Sheva, so she doesn't really look like she's from Africa.
She looks mixed race, doesn't she?
She very much does look mixed race. They also gave her the AI of a doorstop because
probably worse.
Because if you give your AI partner, you have a limited inventory, so you'll find the big gun or something. So you'll give it to her. I don't want to use it. I don't want to waste the ammo. What does she do? Immediately empties all the ammo into the enemies.
Yeah, you've got like 6 spaces each, haven't you?
Yeah.
Something like that.
You offload your healing items first, so you've got more space for killing things. And what does she do?
She uses them
every 5 seconds. She's healing you. Every time you lose 1
even
HP.
at full health. Even at full health, she uses them.
If you play it in co-op, like either online or kind of couch co-op, it's really fun experience. As long as you can get past shooting African people, or going into the African Bayou, which I didn't realize was a thing, and shooting tribal people.
It's supposed to be the wetlands of the Serengeti, even though you're in West Africa.
Yeah, but you're on hoverboats that you would find in the Everglades.
Yeah, and then you kill
crocodiles,
tribes people,
and crocodiles. Don't forget the crocodiles.
Yeah, and crocodiles. Yeah, and then oh no, the game can't be racist because then you kill white Africans. Don't worry, guys. Killing them all. Killing them all.
Well, yeah, the game does bring the heat because, yes, this is the one with the volcano, where Albert Wesker has mutated himself with the Ouroboros virus, become a crazed monster. He has to kill Chris Redfield. That's all he exists to do now.
He wants global saturation as well, doesn't he?
He's past the point of that. He just wants Chris Redfield dead. That's all he wants in life at this point. So he mutates himself. And you get the most... I remember the first time I played it, and I'm thinking, okay, this is Resident Evil. Resident Evil is very silly. But we're actually inside a volcano. And running around on rocks in the magma.
Yeah, an active volcano.
An active volcano. That's about to erupt. That does erupt when you manage to get out and put 2 rockets into Wesker's face. Oh my god, very, very stupid game, but very hot. Very, very hot game. So yeah, that's
super. I mean, It's hard to recommend it. Personally, I think it's the worst Resident Evil game ever made. I think
still think
6 is somewhat better.
I still think 6 is worse.
Oh, it's still shite. They're both fucking shit, man.
I think
both terrible games.
Resident Evil 5,
Revelations.
Resident Evil 5, I can hate play it. You know?
Yeah, if you want some co-op action, play Revelations 2.
Oh, Rev 2 is fantastic.
Don't be an idiot. Just play that. Yeah, excellent. It's a hot game with some hot biceps in it.
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, that is the other thing. The character models. Chris does have a 32-inch bicep or something stupid.
He's been to the gym since Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Yeah,
in Code Veronica, he was a slim twink.
Oh yeah,
and then he's been to the gym.
He's beefcaked.
Wow.
Yeah,
he's even bigger in 6, which is weird. He's wider than he is tall.
Specifically, so he can punch those boulders. And of course, from Resident Evil 8, you do get that wonderful little reference back to it from
boulder punching bastard.
Yeah, you call him boulder punching asshole.
Yeah, that's it. Oh,
that's why they were tank controls.
Way.
Not in that game though. That would have worked, but never mind. I'll allow it. Yes. So it's just me now, isn't it?
Just you now.
I'm here to talk about one of my favourite films of all time, Sunshine, 2007. What's hotter than the sun? I tell you, not very much. Directed by a bigger sun. Yes, I'm on about in our solar system. Let's just count the Sol system for now. Directed by Danny Boyle. Daniel? Why did I put Daniel? Danny Boyle.
Giving him his Sunday name. Is he in trouble?
Daniel. He's in trouble. He's in trouble with the back half of this film anyway. Written by Alex Garland. He's got a lot of press on this podcast in the last few weeks. We should start charging him. Also, scientifically advised by Professor Brian Cox, who I also love. Starring Cillian Murphy, Chris Evans, Rose Byrne, Cliff Curtis, Michelle Yeoh, Hiroyuki Sanada, Benedict Wong, and Mark Strong, to name a few. So, let me read the official synopsis and let me tell you how it's wrong. So, 50 years into the future, the sun begins to die, and Earth is dying as a result. A team of astronauts are sent to revive the sun, but the mission fails. 7 years later, a new team are sent to finish the mission as mankind's last hope. First off, again, the synopsis is entirely fucking wrong. Wrong. And famously, Garland and Boyle argued on how to market this film. Garland wanted a grounded, scientific versus faith in God narrative, whilst Danny Boyle just wanted a sci-fi horror tale. And they met each other halfway, literally,
and did both.
And essentially made two films with a very, very obvious halfway point that changes the genre entirely and scientifically. So the synopsis does state that the crew are attempting to reignite the sun because it is dying. This is wrong. The film doesn't say that at all. And I've seen this film many, many times, and I've done some research on it as well. This is what Hollywood intervention does to a marketing push. They're not trying to reignite the sun at all. They're actually trying to eradicate a cue ball, which is a real scientific phenomena. This is a form of matter which is basically stable at high density without fusion. I've done the research, guys, but also will not evaporate. So this causes problems with the sun, which is a self-regulating fusion reaction, as we all know, and it blocks direct light from our sun to Earth, forcing a new ice age quicker than it should have been. Funnily enough, fun fact, this has happened 3 times in recorded Earth history. Well, not recorded history.
I say recorded Earth history. When was the last time we had an ice age? Did I miss it?
Yeah, we've found evidence to suggest that this has happened 3 times and could theoretically happen at any time again. There's no signs of a cue ball happening. It can just happen at any time. So, I don't know if you guys have seen Sunshine.
I have. I love it.
I think it's sensational.
I think it's better than Event Horizon, personally.
It's way better. So, this film is, in my opinion, at its best when it deals with the mental health of the crew, especially Psych Officer Searle and the mission director, an ex-Navy SEAL Mace, played by Chris Evans. He's getting the love this week as well. With the knowing fact that they are literally heading towards the sun in a spaceship called the Icarus 2. I mean,
why would you call a ship the Icarus?
On the nose, that.
Yeah.
He does mention why, because Icarus did burn up in the sun, and that's exactly what they kind of want to do. It's more than enough to fuck someone's mind up knowing that they're basically hurtling through space towards the greatest nuclear reaction known in our solar system. So yeah, you'd expect them to be a bit fucked up by that. Also, the film tackles the nature versus science hypothesis. If the sun has a cue ball, do we have the right to stop it, or is it natural selection at play? And does fate need intervention? Who knows? Who knows? There's some good like moral quandaries in the film throughout. But my favourite aspect of the film is like humanity's evolutionary obsession with the sun. Like, look at modern day sun chasers in Benidorm, and the fact that like darkness is inherently seen as evil or blindness and uncertainty. Like we have evolved to be afraid of the dark because of the power of the sun. The sun is the exact antithesis of the darkness. Heat giving life and the sun dictating our natural body clocks. It's powerful in that way, and it holds up fantastically to this day. Or at least the first half does. This is where it takes a nosedive. So, spoiler alert for Sunshine if you've not watched this film. As I hinted at the beginning of this, there's two completely different genres in play. And it's more or less directly at the halfway point. It turns into a straight-up slasher horror movie in space. And it's very Hollywood at the end. It's not outright terrible. And in a sense, it's just at odds with the themes the movie starts off tackling at the beginning, which I just fucking love the beginning. It's the whole obsession is heat and how we need heat as a race to survive. Now, it gets its aim. This is the it's like the individual struggle overall in its simple form. What would you? It's all about sacrifice, isn't it? And these scientists, and some are astronauts, some are marines, some are scientists. They know the chance of survival is very, very low, and the weight of humanity is on their shoulders. Like it states at the beginning of the film that the Icarus 1, the first, it's got lost. They never got a response, so the mission failed. This is the last of humanity's resources to power this 1 mile long ship, which the ship, I think, is incredible looking. It's got this big, like dome in front of it so the ship doesn't burn behind it, and it's a delicate ecosystem as well, which is incredible as well. It's funny how the heat plays into it and the light plays into it, but on the ship it's very dark, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Even though the where it would be the brightest. Now, my two favourite scenes are when the crew, the first one is when the crew witness up close Mercury gliding effortlessly past the ship and backlit by the gargantuan sun, even though it's still millions of miles away. Can you remember that scene when they're just watching, and there is no dialogue in that scene at all? They're all just watching Mercury slowly go across what would be a horizon, but there's no horizon in space. I love that. I think it's such a touching moment. And my second favourite scene is Kaneda's death, in which the music ramps up and the sun is close to evaporating him completely because there's been some issues with the science, and one of the science officers forgot to put change the shield's trajectory and stuff. And the psych officer, Searle, which is one of my favourite characters in this, is not in it for very long. He's just on the comms screaming, "What do you see? What do you see?" Because he's become obsessed with the sun. And he's not concerned that he knows he's going to die. He's like, what? Because he's going to be the first human in existence to stare the sun in its face. Because every time we look at the sun, it's either through an atmosphere or through visors, but he's physically going to see the sun for the 5 seconds he's got left to live before he burns up. And the music, I'll get onto the music in a second. I've also got some science facts and did it check out. I've done the research as well on this. So a solar mirror based ship can in fact work and would get us to the outer corona of the sun quite easily, and every scientist and physicist has agreed that they've got the science absolutely bang on this. Why we'd want to do it is beyond me, because there's no reason to go anywhere near it. Another science thing, artificial gravity, I don't think that checks out, and no one agrees. It's still a bollocks simple thing to make a sci-fi film. It'd never be able to happen unless the ship was the size of a moon, due to mass being the key.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, and again, that's been scientifically proven it wouldn't work. You need mass to create gravity, not velocity, which is wild, isn't it? Because, a centrifuge would be good, but you'd just be pinned to the wall.
Yeah.
that's all it'd be. It does it on a few films, doesn't it? Where the ship's spinning.
Yeah, I
what's
think
the
so.
famous-
And that book as well by the guy that wrote The Martian,
Andy Weir.
Yeah.
Andy Weir.
Andy Weir, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
bollocks. Velocity doesn't create gravity, mass does. Also, destroying a cue ball with a nuke. I mean, yeah, it would work, but you wouldn't need a nuke to do it because a cue ball is a perfect balance of what it is. So even theoretically dropping a human hair onto a cue ball would disrupt it and it'd dissipate. You don't need to nuke it. You just need to unbalance it, which is, again, overkill. Let's send the nukes in. And reality and time distortion is a big key factor in this. That would happen. The closer you get to a giant mass, such as the sun, a minute could take and feel like a year, etc., due to general relativity and time being linked with gravity and mass, which, again, I think Interstellar got that quite right as well. And finally, all the Earth's nations working together to save the Earth. Nah, that's never going to happen. I don't believe in that. That's bollocks. But yeah, the heat is the prime component of this film. It is about the fucking sun and how Earth is ice. There is a beautiful bit at the end where, because it is an androgynous ending, you don't know if... Ambiguous ending, not androgynous, sorry. Ambiguous ending where you don't know if it's worked. She just... Kappa, the main character, Cillian Murphy's character's sister, looks up at the sun and it's particularly bright that morning. Has it worked, or is it just... Do you know what I mean? Cool, I do like that ending, but I don't think the film would be the film that it is without the soundtrack. Most of it by Underworld, but a particular track, Adagio in D minor by John Murphy, is still without doubt my favourite single track from any movie ever made. Now, you've heard this song, even if you've not watched the film. It is, on record, the most used track on a film that hasn't got its own score ready yet. Do you know when sometimes they release early trailers?
Yeah.
They use this track. It is sensational bit of music. It's beautiful. It's every time I hear it, it reminds me of the wonder of man and science versus nature and stuff like that. I think it's fucking sensational. But again, my final thoughts on it. Ultimately, the film pretends to be hard sci-fi when in reality it's a spiritual film. When God is dying, the sun, God, is dying and devil has all control because there is a devil in this, or a devil analogy to it. Man's hubris. Who are we to fight extinction? Do we have the right to stop extinction? Can science defeat our gods and devils? And if we kill the devil himself, are we not in fact God? Which is a line said in the film. Super powerful, and that's coming from an atheist. I don't believe in that, but I do like the themes it's doing. So, to save humanity, one man had to fly across the surface of the sun, the ultimate sacrifice, without ever knowing if you've succeeded. Another line from the film. I think it's brilliant. I give it a 9 out of 10 due to the end, the halfway point. I'm not that big into the slasher bit at the end. But yeah, I think it's sensational. And again, it fits the remit, Biggie, because it's about the sun.
U-turn had the sun in it. Hello.
I think it's Danny Boyle's best film, and I think it's Alex Garland's best written work as well. I think it's brilliant. I wish they'd have stuck with the science, the first half, and I'd have been absolutely happy having just science going wrong for the whole film. Why couldn't we have the antagonist be themselves? Because they were fighting at the beginning, weren't they, and stuff like that, arguing. We didn't need a skinless Mark Strong running around asking if people were angels or not.
Yeah,
But
that was weird.
I do like the effect of Mark Strong in this, how he's constantly blurred, because it's quite scary. But yeah,
really
I think
cool.
it's sensational.
It was just a weird
Sensational
combination, but it still worked.
Yeah, it still works. Listen to that Adagio in D minor. Fuck me, that song. Wow. Whew. If you're brave enough, Gadget, you could play it at the end. It's fucking sensational.
No.
But yeah.
I've already got my ending song picked out, and it ain't going to be serious.
Yeah, because it is a very serious song. Listeners, listen to that tune and look up at the sun, but with glasses on, please. So yeah, what have our sun worshippers brought to the table there, Gadget?
So,
If any.
We'll start off with that bloody yank himself at Sergeant Story. And he's just said backdraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
what
well
I
done,
mention.
That F King guy said Sunshine, a nice, hard, hot sci-fi with a slasher twist.
Great taste.
He also says Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Everything about that movie is dry and has a coating of dust covered of sweat.
Yeah.
Even the music stings.
I do love that scene where the sun's in the background going down and Leatherfaces are swinging. They go, "Ooh!" in the washing.
Yeah.
And beautiful that. Beautifully haunting.
Zenos has said the first things that come to mind for me are the assorted volcanic maps in the Monster Hunter franchise. The older games, you needed a cold drink every 10 minutes just to not gradually die from the heat if your armor wasn't spec'd out to provide resistance to it. But they've taken that out now because it's really just an annoyance for the players. Though if you're stupid enough to stand right next to flowing magma, it will definitely still damage you. And of course, if a monster tortures you, it's going to hurt no matter what you're wearing.
He's right. They do. Capcom know how to do fire, even in a volcano.
He goes on to say the Metroid series has more than its fair share of overheated areas. Norfair from the original Metroid and the remake Zero Mission is the one I'm most familiar with. Gadget will remember there is a room in Metroid Dread where you're changing the flow of the fuel line causes the entire room you're in to begin catching fire and collapsing while you're still in it, followed by flooding half the level with the excess heat from the fuel leak. So that's fun. I
love that level.
Yeah, it's a fun sequence. I should probably also give mention to Asphodel in the game Hades. In Greek mythology, Asphodel is a big grassy field in the land of the dead, but in Hades it's been flooded with lava. And being a god does not give Zagreus any privileges in the sphere of not being on fire. Also, Hades in general, an obscenely hot game.
Oh, it's hot, man. In the Biggie sense. In the
Biggie sense, yeah. A lot of very pretty gods.
That is a thirsty game.
And he finished off the last place I'm going to bring up, chiefly because it's the last place I'd ever want to go, is the assortment of volcanic areas in Guild Wars 2, of which the most notable is probably the Ring of Fire Islands. I'll let you guess why they're called that. You can visit scenic Ember Bay if you want to spend multiple hours trying to clear the Chalice of Tears jumping puzzle, named because it will absolutely make you cry when you inevitably miss a jump onto a razor-thin piece of rock and fall 50 feet into lava and die 20 minutes into the puzzle. And Dracarys Mons, which is a hollow volcano you get to explore from the inside. It's mostly not lava, but that doesn't mean it's any colder because the ocean at the bottom of the cavern is sulphurous and boiling hot and will kill you just as quickly as lava if you try to swim in it. So, yeah. Guild Wars 2 is psychotic to its players at times.
I don't think I know what Guild Wars 2 is. R1. What is it?
It's an MMO like Final Fantasy 14. But it has the unique honor of being different in that you don't have to pay monthly to play it. You bought the game for 40 quid and that was it. You just played it for free.
Hang on. Candy, are you drinking milk?
No, pina colada.
I thought you were drinking milk.
I can see that it looks like milk though, but
it's too hot for milk.
Milk was a bad choice.
Milk was a bad choice.
Last up, Best Boy Angry Kurt, and what about the film Heat? I mean, yeah, sure. He says, no, my pick for this week is Pierce Brosnan's best film outside of the Bond films, and that is Dante's Peak.
No one's ever said that's his best film ever. It's fucking shit.
Mamma Mia was better.
For those who don't,
Thomas Crown Affair.
For those who don't know, this film is a disaster film about a volcano erupting. I've seen it a couple of times growing up as it was a typical ITV Sunday night fodder, but it was still a great film.
Was.
However, I haven't seen it in years, so my memory is quite hazy. From what I remember, though, it's about a volcano which is supposed to be extinct, but Brosnan's character goes to investigate some suspicious activity in the area, and what do you know? His suspicion is correct, and it goes off big time. Cute typical disaster movie with lots of heat coming from the lava, putting people in perilous situations. Whenever anyone brings up the best disaster films, Dante's Peak always springs to mind, which must mean it's good. I mean, Kurt, I think if you watch it back again, I think you might have to correct yourself on that.
Also starring Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
In a non-Terminator role. Oh, God, this shit. It's proper shit.
It is one of Brosnan's worst films. I think the only one worse than that is maybe Lawnmower Man.
Yeah. He's great in Mrs. Doubtfire.
He is. He's very good in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, fucking hell.
But in Mrs. Doubtfire, all he's got to do is look pretty.
Yeah, and he did. Dante's Peak reminds me of Volcano as well, the Tommy Lee Jones one,
which was the good film,
which is much better and
way better.
Almost my choice.
Volcano is decent, but fucking Dante's Peak, man. Wow, I hadn't heard that in ages. Kurt, man, get back and watch it. Please report back with your findings, because it's fucking dog rough.
Yeah, I don't think that film's
Love the
aged
feedback,
well.
though.
Don't think that one's aged well.
I don't want to dish your taste, mate, but yeah. Woohoo! Dante's Peak.
Yeah, that's what we've got in the mailbag.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So, as always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in the show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk, and please consider becoming a patron to help support our endeavour. Next week, it's the start of our musical odyssey. It's over. The heat. The summer is over, guys. We're ending the summer. It's going to rain
cool
from now on. Yeah, it's going to cool down now. We're starting with our musical idols next week. Those acts that we simply won't have a bad word said about them. And we loved their lows and live for their highs when we were younger, or even now. Be mindful as well. We don't mind getting feedback prior to our particular episodes. The schedule is on our website, so get writing in. If you're not interested in the topic we're going to do, just get writing in for one that you are. We do save them, and yeah, get writing in, guys. But that's been our summer theme and our first themed month. Did you like it? I liked it.
It's far too hot.
I thought it was. It was
far too hot. I mean, we couldn't have picked a better week for recording this.
We could have done with a cue ball, couldn't we, this week? Fucking hell, just a little one. Just for a bit.
Just a bit.
Just for a bit. Cool us down a bit. But yeah, for anyone that is a patron, we will continue this discussion, this bumper episode over there. But to everyone else that's tight, I hope you enjoyed the heat. This has been a podcast. Good night. Bye. Bye. Yeah. The waveforms or whatever, they are a bit small.
Yeah. Maybe just pull the mic a little bit closer to you. Maybe it just might be a distance thing.
You once told me to put it away from me.
Yeah, that's because you were talking into it like that.
I like that, though.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Oh, it's backwards. It's backwards.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I got see because of the fucking Mickey Mouse here. Right, let me test that. Motherfucker! Testing. Boomer alert!
Absolute boomer.
That's fucking fantastic.
I'm handing my title officially over to Oodles.
It was just, these fucking Marantz are great mics for price, but fuck me, there's no light on them. So you're just going to put right in.
Put a bit of white tape on it or something so you know which way around it is.
Front.
Back. Yeah. You go,